It was supposed to be a memorable night at the ballpark last night, but as it turns out, it was a very forgettable one.
The Rangers are in the playoffs for the first time in their history. The Cowboys have a bye this weekend. Football town or no, there is no excuse for any right-thinking citizen of this community not to be thinking baseball tonight.
Yes, it was the first night in pretty much a quarter century that the Rangers had the focus on them and not the Cowboys. Their first playoff game ever. And a crowd as rowdy as ever seen around here.
This facility for the Rangers, they had one of the best home records in all of baseball.
I thought the crowd was excellent. I thought the crowd did a great job. You know, everybody showed up from first inning, you know, standing on their feet, going crazy, and including the ninth inning.
He hit 16 of
but early on, this was the Bernie Williams show. First in the Yankee half of the first. Off Darren Oliver, Bernie wraps a home run around the right field foul pole.
For an opposite field home run for Bernie Williams, and boy, did that ball carry, Joe.
And then in the Ranger half of the first, Rusty Greer sends one deep to center field, but Bernie wraps his arm over the wall, and voila! By about an inch, the Yankees still have a 1-0 lead. Darren Oliver would go 8 innings, thanks in part to the play of Pudge behind the plate, picking off Charlie Hayes in the third.
Hayes picked off. McLemore running him toward Palmer, and Palmer applied.
And then in the fourth, the Yankees try some trickery. The double steal has Bernie Williams hung up between first and second. Oliver to Clark to Elster, back to Clark, then Tim Raines trying to score from third, and by about an inch, he's out at the plate. The double steal turns into a double play.
I know that in this situation, Bernie's got a chance to go, and that's what I called for Oliver to throw over, and we got the guy, and I blocked the play pretty good to Tim Raines, and he don't touch the home plate. You know, as soon as I see that, I see the umpire, and the umpire don't call anything. I just go where I am and tag him and stuff.
It looked like a design play because we got Williams picked off, and then he stopped halfway down there at second. I made sure Raines wasn't breaking at third, and then got rid of the ball. And then after that, my job is to close the gap, and we closed the gap. Got a quick out at you know, in between second there, and I saw picked up the fact that Raines was running out the corner of my eye, turned and wheeled him through it, and Pudge did a great job blocking the play.
A double play any way you figure it.
And in bottom of the fourth, it's who else but Wando to the opposite field, Kondo. His fourth home run in 3 postseason games. And in the fifth, with 1 out, Kevin Elster works the delayed steal from first to third, just like that. In position for Pudge.
Into center field. Hopping back up is Elster.
In effect, chasing Yankee starter Jimmy Key with the RBI double. And the Rangers hold that 2-1 lead all the way to the 9th inning.
As the Rangers take the lead on a double by Rodriguez.
After the Rangers took the lead, the guys came in and started screaming and yelling like, you know, all of a sudden they came to life.
Former big leaguer Bob Oliver.
But in the 9th, off Oliver, first it's Derek Jeter with the leadoff single in the hole at short. Then Tim Raines rips one to center field. First and third with nobody out. And it's time for the bullpen. And for the 13th time this year, the Rangers can't hold a 9th inning lead. Mike Henneman gives up the sacrifice fly to Bernie Williams. It's 2-2. Then Mariano Duncan delivers the go-ahead run with the single up the middle. 3-2 Yankees, and while the Rangers can't close it out, against Yankee closer John Wetland, there's little chance of coming up with their first come-from-behind win in the 9th this year. The Rangers now see their splendid season flash before their eyes today.
3 games in the series.
We have that theme where we're having a tough time coming back during an individual game, but we can come back the next day, it seems like. So we'll know tomorrow at this time, won't we?
Since we love spring training, I mean, everything's been honest. Everything's come down to the wire. We've had to do everything the hard way. And here we are again. So, you know, the world ain't over with. Nobody really died. And then we got a game tomorrow we got to win, and then let's see what happens again the next day.
Hey, you know, one of the things that we're going to do is come back tomorrow. The reason being because I didn't work this hard to quit. I'm going to give it all I got tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow is here, and unless the Rangers win today, there will be no more tomorrows for this team this season. Now let's go down to the field where Scott Murray is standing by to take us the rest of the way to the first pitch.
All right, Bill, thank you much. As you said, it is do or die. This is game 4 of this American League Division Series between the Yankees and the Rangers. And the Rangers trail 2-1 in the best of 5. Can they even things up today? Our pregame special continues right after this brief timeout, so don't go away. Park in Arlington on this Saturday afternoon. This is also a welcome back of sorts for Kenny Rogers, the former Rangers pitcher. But now, of course, he's wearing the jersey of the enemy. He opted for the pinstripes in a multi-year deal over in New York in the offseason. It has been an up-and-down year for Kenny Rogers. More than once he's found himself in Steinbrenner's doghouse. But he gets the call to start today for Joe Torre against his former team. Rogers 12-8 in the year. Has appeared once in the playoffs, walking Will Clark in New York. As for today, Yanks manager Joe Torre simply wants 5 solid innings from Kenny Rogers.
Every time you go out there, you got pressure on yourself. You probably put the most on yourself, more than anyone else does. So I'll try, you know, I can only go out there and give the effort and do the best that I can. If we win, that's what my goal is, for us to win one way or the other. But if we lose, it's just a baseball game.
Mrs. Mark Holtz and Tom Gree, the play-by-play voices of the Texas Rangers during the season right here on Channel 39. And, of course, most excited about what is to unfold here today. This is game 4 of the division series, and the Rangers in a must-win situation, fellas. But first of all, let me ask you, this is a chance for Kenny Rogers to come back home and either share some greatness with the Yankee fans or be the GOAT.
It is all on the line right now, isn't it, Scott? I think Kenny Rogers is the kind of guy that likes this kind of pressure, though. He's had the perfect game. It came in this ballpark. And I think he wants to prove something to George Steinbrenner right now. So mixed emotions, I'm sure, for Kenny, but really a chance, as you say, to really get something done or meet the crowd of Texas, which won't be very friendly.
Tom, let me ask you, as a former general manager of this team, you had a chance to negotiate and be a part of the negotiations with Kenny Rogers. And last year when he left, I think he really alienated a lot of his present or his former players, the present Rangers, when he said, I want to play for a contender. I want to play for a pennant contender, and kind of was a backward shot at the Rangers.
I think that rubbed a lot of the players the wrong way and certainly a lot of the fans the wrong way. And I don't think anybody had a problem with Kenny leaving, but some of the things he said would probably have been better off left unsaid. The scouts say he's not throwing as well as he has in the past. He might have an arm problem. But I look for Kenny to pitch well today. I don't think the pressure will bother him. If the Rangers want to win, they've got to go out and beat him. They've got to score some runs.
Your thoughts on Bobby Witt? Certainly the biggest game of his career today.
I like having Bobby Witt out there. Bobby Witt's a bulldog, gives 100%. He's not scared. He'll throw as long as Johnny Oates lets him throw, and I feel good with Bobby Witt on the mound.
Okay. Let me turn back over to Mark, and I'll talk to you about Senor Gonzalez. All the signs here, Mr. October for years was Reggie Jackson, and lo and behold, 4 homers in 3 games for Juan. He's really kind of carried this team thus far.
And, you know, the other statistic that may hopefully turn around for the Rangers is the fact that the team without Gonzalez right now in 3 games is hitting 170. So they need Pudge Rodriguez out of the number 2 spot to move Hamilton over. He needs to get on. But for Gonzalez, the keys, because they could start pitching around him, are number 3 and number 5. So that's Greer and Clark. So they really need to protect him as they have all year long, so they can't pitch around him. We'll see what Rogers does. A lot of change-ups have bothered Gonzalez in the past. Kenny has the great curveball, pretty good fastball, but he's got a tremendous change-up that we saw for many years. It's not a secret. So that's part of the scouting report that the Rangers know of. But they may see a lot of change-ups to Gonzalez and the other big hitters today.
And, Tom, the offense has always been there. I mean, it's been there all season. And lo and behold, when you get to the playoffs and you really need it, Juan's really the only guy that's produced.
Well, it's hard to explain, Scott. Really, coming down the stretch, the team didn't swing the bats well either. But the one thing they've shown all year is when their backs are against the wall, they always seem to bounce back. I guess you can't get much more against the wall than they are right now, but I look for them to bounce back. They've all got proven track records. It's not like they can't hit. It's just a matter of whether they'll come out and do it today. Hopefully today will be the day they break out of it.
And you certainly had to have some sympathy for Johnny Oates last night. You know he's in the dugout. If they go to the 9th, if he's got a guy like a Wetland that he can bring in, he brings him in. Oliver never even shows up in the 9th, and lo and behold, he doesn't have that luxury that Joe Torre does.
Well, it's nice to have Mariano Duncan and John Wetland in the bullpen, but the Rangers have a bullpen that was good enough to get them to postseason play. Mike Henneman said 31 games. They wouldn't be here without him. Johnny's got to go with what he's got, what's gotten him to this point. And I think what he'll do is use the matchups. He'll go to a certain lefty against a left-hand hitter. He's not afraid to go back to Mike Henneman, or he'll stay with a starter if he's still got good stuff.
Okay. One final thought from each of you. They win today or not?
I think it's a definite. Get ready to come back here tomorrow.
All right, how about you, Mark? Did they make it or not?
I don't know. This game depends so much on pitching, Scott. If you have it that one day, you're going to win. If you don't, you're not going to. I'm not a pessimist, but I just take it game by game, inning by inning, and almost pitch by pitch, and hanging on it. But this is a team that has shown great resiliency. They bounce back. They have a lot of confidence. They do have some veterans, and I don't think they're at awe anymore. The crowd support has been absolutely terrific. It's been a great scene out here, and hopefully they can hang in it and win this whole thing. They got a shot to go all the way if the pitching is there.
That's for sure. Mark Holtz, Tom Grieve, thanks for always stopping by and being there for us, and certainly all your great telecasts on 39. You know, Mark talks about the fans and how supportive they have been. Over 50,000, a record crowd for a baseball game here in North Texas last night. Much the same expected here this afternoon at the ballpark. And standing outside the ballpark right now is our Terry Briggs. Terry?
Thanks, Scott. You know, Ranger fans are filing in here. They're still hopeful that their team can come through. And there are a lot of fans here very early this morning who are banking on it. People who had been waiting in a tent city for 48 hours or more turned loose to buy World Series tickets this morning. And just before 7 o'clock, they did just that. These are true believers from a city called Rangerville.
Well, we founded Rangerville Wednesday, October 2nd, about 1:45 p.m. Population started out at 2. It grew to about 35 by Wednesday night, and by Thursday night, it was 1,200 and still growing.
I can't believe we're finally going to go home and get some sleep. It's been a long 2 days.
They're going to come through.
Today and tomorrow.
Kenny Rogers not going to like coming home.
Got real good tickets, and I still think they're going to go all the way.
They will. That's right.
So you're keeping hope alive.
That's right. Very much so. We believe.
I think they can. At least they can win the next 2 for sure, you know. After that, we'll see. You know, it depends on who they're playing, I guess. But we're going for all of it.
Possibly, I don't know. After last night's game, so I think they're going to win.
Oh, they've been playing well, though. They've been playing real well. They've just been losing some tight ones and missing out on a few good chances. Got the best team. They play together. Best ballpark, best fans. We've got to go.
And Scott, these people really believe it. They're filing in, as we said, and they're hopeful that they will be going to the World Series. Of course, they got to win today if they can do that.
All right, Terry Briggs, thank you much. Our countdown continues. Game 4, the Rangers and the Yankees, American League Division Series, live from the ballpark here in Arlington, right here on Texas 39. When we come back, looking ahead, the countdown continues. Game time 12:07, shortly after noon today. You see some of the folks inside the ballpark, lots still outside the ballpark, but again, a capacity crowd expected here at the ballpark in Arlington for Game 4. President Tom Schieffer will join us coming up, so stay tuned. Bobby Witt warming up in the bullpen, about to be a part of certainly the biggest game of his career in Major League Baseball. You know, it doesn't really seem to matter whether you're young or old, man or woman, boy or girl. Just about everybody during the course of the last few days has gotten caught up in playoff fever here at the ballpark in Arlington, including a group of 5 and 6 years old from a school called Ashley's Private School located in Cedar Hill. Watch.
But don't feel pressure with Gonzalez, McLemore, and Greer. With this as our lineup, we have no fear. We would name the rest, but it could take all day. And with all due respect, you have a game to play. But if you can wait a minute more, we have a special cheer in store. B-E-A-T, beat the Yankees! B-E-A-T, beat the Yankees! B-E-A-T, beat the Yankees!
The Texas Rangers, American League West champions, are being introduced right now here to the sellout crowd of the ballpark in Arlington. When we come back, we'll talk to the man that's president of this team, Tom Schieffer, right after this. In Arlington, as we welcome the man responsible for bringing general manager Doug Melvin to Texas, who in turn brought Johnny Oates to Texas, who in turn has managed the team to its first ever playoff affair Here in Major League Baseball in some 25 years, we're talking about the Texas Rangers president, Tom Schieffer. Welcome. Boy, is this exciting, huh?
Oh, it is exciting. And, you know, we lost the ball game last night, but that was pure baseball last night. And we just need to win one today. And if we do, I think it'll be one of the greatest series in baseball history.
Okay, what? I tell you what, Tom, we'll step aside just for a sec. Go up top for the national anthem. We'll be back in just a sec.
I'm not going to move it now.
We direct your attention to the area near home plate as 9-year-old recording artist Michaela Enriquez performs today's national anthem.
Wow. Where'd you find that little girl? I'd say she has a future, huh?
She's pretty good. I'll tell you, if that doesn't put a tear in your eye, I mean, nothing will. That's great.
There is electricity like never has been a part of this stadium before, and I have to ask you, a win today or it's all over. But as you look back, win or lose, what will you remember most about the season? What will you cherish most?
Oh, this was the first time, and it's always the greatest when it's the first time. But I'm not going to give up on this season yet. I think what you're getting ready to have is a storybook finish here today, and we'll win it tomorrow.
All right, let's talk about today's game. What do you see?
I think we're going to see a very determined team. These guys know that they can win. They think two of them have slipped away from them, and they're going to win today.
So the mindset in the clubhouse right now is positive?
It's tough.
Is it really?
It is.
Did Johnny Oates have a chance to spend some time with you or any of the other ball players?
I think Johnny Oates is just like Johnny Oates always is. He's got the same confidence. He's got the same quiet character, strength that he's always had, and that's what you want on a day like today.
Well, Doug Melvin and Johnny Oates have done a great job putting this field or this team on the field, but there's a man responsible by the name of Tom Schieffer who has kind of brought this all to fruition, and I congratulate you publicly. Really, well done.
There are a whole lot of people that are responsible for this, and anytime you can have the kind of success that we're having this year, it's not one person, it's a whole bunch of people. And you know, Tom Grieve and Sandy Johnson deserve a lot of credit, too, because they put a core of players on the field for us to work with.
Well, Channel 5 and 39, we're really pleased to be a part of it and talk about a first-season success, huh?
You were great partners, and this is the first of many years to come.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott.
Tom Schieffer, Rangers president. And, of course, as we said, this is Game 4 of the American League Division Series. A win for the Rangers today, and they play a deciding Game 5 tomorrow here at the ballpark in Arlington. Should they lose, the season is over. But what a year it has been. We'll be back with our post-game right after the ball game, right here on Channel 39. So until then, I'm Scott Murray. Rangers and Yankees are next.
For the kill, while the Rangers are hoping for one last shootout. Game 1, a Texas two-step. Juan Gonzalez establishes himself as a one-man wrecking crew. The Rangers capture their first season game in their very first opportunity. Game 2, a 12th inning miscue, led to cheers in the Bronx and an even series heading to Texas. Game 3 last night, Pudge Rodriguez and the Rangers forge a 2-1 lead and an imminent Lone Star lasso. But Mariano Duncan and the Yankees reach deep for 2 shots in the ninth. With the tying run on third, John Wetland fired lights out. Now it's the Yankees with the smoking gun, riding high into Game 4. Welcome to the ballpark in Arlington. The sun is up, the Rangers are up, the Yankees are up, and we're up as ESPN's coverage of the divisional playoffs continues with Game 4. The Yankees up 2-1 of the Texas Rangers. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman along with Buck Martinez. So glad you could be with us. What a momentous game this is, certainly for this franchise. You can hear the fans behind us, and certainly the Yankees have a chance to move on into the ALCS. But frankly, Buck, they could have already been eliminated, except call it what you want. Down 4-1 in Game 2, they win it. Down by a run in the 9th inning last night, they win it. Maybe it's a little New York moxie, but they're playing with a lot of guts, and they play like a team that's been in these tight games before and knows what to do.
Well, it's a lot of New York moxie, plus it's the personality of their manager, Joe Torre, from Bronx, and Joe Torre knows what it's all about to play in New York. They've got a good mix of veterans and young players, and they've got young players playing like veterans. Derek Jeter, throughout the season and into the postseason, has had ice water in his veins. He got a big hit last night to set the table for a Yankee comeback with 2 runs in the 9th to win it. And Derek Jeter all year long has made Joe Torre forget that he's still a rookie.
I'll tell you what, the Rangers are down 2-1, but certainly not the fault of Juan going Gonzalez, because he's done just that. 4 homers in the 3 games, of course, a pair in Game number 2. The record for any postseason series, that includes a 7-game World Series, whatever, is 5 homers by one individual. So going into Game 4 here, Gonzalez already has 4 home runs, and he's going up against another Yankee lefty who he's feasted on.
Well, he has killed the Yankee left-handers, and when you see a guy like Gonzalez wearing out left-handed pitching, you look around him and say, well, somebody else must do something. Look at what Gonzalez has done against the New York Yankee left-handers. He's hit .727 with 8 home runs and 16 ribbies. The big thing about Gonzalez is he just can't do it all by himself. He's got to have somebody else in that lineup contribute with the bat. He's going against another left-hander, Kenny Rogers, and Kenny Rogers is the only Yankee starter to win a ball game here in this ballpark during the regular season.
How ironic is this, that 7 years the gambler, Kenny Rogers, toiled for the Texas Rangers. Now here in Game 4 of the divisional playoff series, he has a chance to eliminate him from the first postseason appearance ever. Enjoy. Over 50,000 here last night to watch the Yankees beat the Rangers in the 9th inning. The certain to be 50,000 plus here this afternoon are hoping the result can be changed. Joe Torre certainly doesn't hope that. He's going with the same FedEx lineup that he went last night. Timmy Raines leading off, and what a big job he did in the 9th inning. He leads off in left field. Wade Boggs in there at third base, back playing. Center fielder is Bernie Williams. Homered made a home run saving catch last night. Tino Martinez is the cleanup hitter. Cecil Fielder had a home run in Game number 2 as the DH. Paul O'Neill, question about his hamstring. He does go in right. Mariano Duncan, the game-winning RBI last night, hitting 7th. George Girardi behind the plate, hitting 8th. Derek Jeter, the impressive Yankee of all of them here in this postseason thus far, hitting 9th against the right-handed fireballer, longtime Texas Ranger who has returned, Bobby Witt.
Bobby Witt made 32 starts in the regular season. He had 16 wins and 12 defeats. ERA was pretty much inflated. Almost 200 innings of work, and Bobby Witt gives up a lot of hits. Bobby Witt has always been a streaky pitcher. He can come out here today and find his delivery in the first inning and put up an awful lot of zeros against New York. What the Yankees have to do against Bobby Witt is lay off of that high fastball. It looks very hittable, but he's got a little extra hop when he gets it upstairs. Behind Witt, the Texas Rangers had the best defense in the major leagues. They committed just 87 errors. They've got good speed in the outfield. Rusty Greer, in my mind, is the heart and soul of this ball club. They missed him for 15 ball games, and they were a 6-9 ball club without Rusty Greer. I believe he's a Gold Glove winner in left field.
He has made acrobatic plays all year long. He's inspirational in the field and at the plate. And there you see what the Texas Rangers did in September when they didn't have Rusty Greer in the lineup.
Manager Johnny Oates probably didn't sleep much last night. Neither did anybody else on his Texas bench. But Oatesy going with the same lineup that's got him here. He said, as you pointed out at the beginning, Buck, that we've come back before. We need to get a little hitting other than Gonzalez, most specifically at the bottom part of that lineup.
Joe Torre's club has been resilient throughout the course of this playoffs. They were down in extra innings. They came back. They've got a lot of veterans. They've got a lot of confidence. Today he's got Wade Boggs back in the lineup, his veteran third baseman. And I think Joe Torre's personality all year long has really been passed on to his players. He has been low-keyed, and he hasn't gotten rattled.
77 degrees here at high noon in the Lone Star State. Certainly get a little warmer. A little bit of breeze, though, blowing. Right now it seems to be out a little bit from left to right. Not much of a factor as this ballpark is enclosed, unlike those other new ballparks in Baltimore or Colorado with the office complex out in center field. So that cuts down on what might be a little breeze coming in over the outfield fence. Timmy Raines, who's had such a big September for the New York Yankees. The guy that we've talked about, Buck, that when he came back off the DL, Joe Torre wasn't really sure what he'd get with him or what he'd do with him.
Well, Tim Raines had hamstring problems, and he was on the DL, spent a lot of time down in Florida rehabbing, and when he was off the roster, they added Cecil Fielder, they added Darryl Strawberry, and when he was ready to come back, they were thinking, where in the world are we going to play Raines? He settled it for him.
Yep, he sure did.
He got big hits in September. He had 7 home runs.
Last night, after failing to put a bunt down at 0-2, a fan went on the field foolishly. And frankly, we think that it broke the rhythm of Darren Oliver. Raines came through with a base hit, and the Yankees were on their way. Fly ball to left field. Rusty Greer squeezes it, and there's one down to the Yankee first. Well, Timmy might have hit in each of the first 3 games. We'll sit down, and Wade Boggs will give it a go. Boggs did not play last night. Charlie Hayes got the start against the left-handed Darren Oliver. So Boggsy in this series is 1 for 8 with a double in game number 1. Boggs, you know, with all the experience that the Yankees have in the postseason, he'd like to finally move on and win a series. Last series that he, a veteran of the postseason, has won was in '86 when the Red Sox beat California. The '86 World Series, '88 and '90 ALCS. Last year with the Yankees, lose it to the Mariners. So he's tasting it and fouls it back. Bobby Witt looks like he's under control this far, Buck.
Well, he is really patient in his delivery. Sometimes Bobby Witt can come out and take too much out of the crowd and the emotion of the moment and get himself too hyped up. It looks to me like he's in control. Well, that's a good fastball. He just missed inside. He's got a fastball, a slider, and a changeup he throws with a split grip that can act like a splitter, can act like a sinking fastball.
Ground ball to short. Kevin Elster. Will Clark, 2 down to the Yankee first. But if you thought the spirits of these Ranger fans were dampened, especially after last night and having to get up early and come out to the park, you are wrong. They are standing into it here in the top of the first inning. Yeah, the Cowboys are idle this week. I mean, all eyes are on this thing, as they well should be. Here is Bernie Williams, who homered in the first inning last night. Something that we should mention, the Yankees had such difficulty scoring runs in the first inning this year. It actually was part of their Achilles heel in some of the games that they lost, but they have scored in the first inning of 2 of the 3 games thus far against Texas. Bernie doing it last night with a home run to right field. Of course, you get that right-handed to right field. Richard turns around. Strike call, says Tim Welke. Welke behind the plate. John Shulock at first. Ted Hendry at second base. Drew Coble at third. Greg Koskin left him Cheetah. A couple of tough and good calls at the plate last night. He's down the right field line. Foul back by Bernie. Here's what we've been talking about. First inning for the Yankees. They've been outscored this year 123 to 84. In the late innings, they own those. But Joe Torre feels that if he can get up on the Rangers, maybe the Rangers will press. All the more reason to get a runner too early here, Buck, that maybe the Rangers will feel the heat.
He'd like to get on the board and maybe see if he can get to Bobby Witt, but Witt looks pretty cool right now.
Real cool strikeout of Bernie Williams. A 1-2-3 first for the Rangers. Bobby Witt has it going. What will former Ranger Kenny Rogers offer when he takes the mound? For the Yankees, what about the Texas Rangers here in the bottom of the first inning? Johnny Quaker Oates has dispatched his usual FedEx lineup. Darrell Hamilton leads off in center field. Pudge Rodriguez had the go-ahead double last night. He's hitting second. Rusty Greer in left field, and the red-hot Juan Gonzalez hitting cleanup. Will Clark at first base. He's one of the Rangers that's got to get going. Dean Palmer homered in game one, hitting sixth. Mickey Tettleton hitless thus far this series is seventh. Mark McLemore hitting eighth. Kevin Elster is the shortstop, going against the 7-year Texas Ranger, now first-year New York Yankee, the gambler, left-hander Kenny Rogers.
Well, Kenny Rogers gets an opportunity to advance the Yankees to the next round. He was a free agent in the offseason. He said he wanted to go to New York for a chance to play in the postseason. A lot of his Ranger teammates felt like maybe he meant disrespect, but he said not at all. He said, you know, I've had tremendous respect for the Rangers my career there. But it's been a frustrating season for Kenny Rogers. He came out of spring training as the 5th starter. And he was a little frustrated at that. He's had a couple of stints down in the bullpen, but actually never worked as a reliever.
Darrell Hamilton fouls the first pitch off. Hamilton, this series, one of the many Rangers, really almost all of them, except for Gonzalez, that's been scuffling. 3 for 15, had 2 hits in game number 2, and 1 for 5 last night. Hamilton, a very sure-handed center fielder, the second most putouts in a season without an error ever by a center fielder. Only Kurt Flood had more. Pops this bunt, foul and out of play. Kenny Rogers in this ballpark. He enjoys it here. Not only has he pitched a perfect game here a couple of years ago, 16-6, 15-6 as a Ranger, and then he won on August 1st. As you pointed out in the open, Buck, the only game the Yankees won here in the regular season, so he likes these confines.
Well, he is anxious to really have a good game and erase the thoughts of what he perceives to be kind of a disappointing season. He had higher expectations when he signed with the Yankees.
And he begins with a flourish, punching out Darrell Hamilton. Hey, the Orioles and the Indians are going on. Gary Miller's going to keep us posted all day. Gary?
Chris, here's the game over on ESPN2. Charles Nagy gave up a walk to Brady Anderson. Todd Zeal pops one foul out of play. Or is it? Omar Vizquel reaches into the Jacobs Field crowd, takes it away. Alomar has just flown out to the warning track. 2 outs in the first. Back to you.
All right, we look forward to your reports as we keep posted on both games. Both could end in the American League, or both could go to the roof. Here is Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, and what a force he is behind the plate. I mean, you don't just need me to say it, Buck. We'll talk about it all afternoon. His throwing keeps all the teams, prevents them from running and makes them think about hitting running. And meanwhile, Rodriguez thinks about hitting. Base hit up the middle. The Rangers have drawn first blood. Pudge had a pair of hits last night, so he's continuing to swing the hot bat here at home.
Chris, I think it's an advantage for a catcher to hit against the pitcher that he has caught for so long, and that's the situation with Rodriguez and Kenny Rogers. He had a pretty good idea. Rogers was going to try to get ahead. They're sitting up outside. They want that outside fastball, and look at Rodriguez hammered into center field. I always had a lot of confidence when I was facing a pitcher that I caught for a long time, because I had a feel for the way he liked to set hitters up.
But let's make it very clear. Joe Torre's strategy to pitch to Juan Gonzalez, who was on deck as Rusty Greer steps up, is to keep people off the base paths. Last night, he retired Greer 3 times, leading to end an inning, and Gonzalez led off an inning 3 times, only came up once with a man on. The point is, if we don't get Greer to drive into a double play, Gonzalez will come up, and Rogers has to go into it.
Well, that's a great plan, but it's confounded by the fact that Rusty Greer hit .320 against left-handers this year. He, like the rest of the Rangers, haven't really hit yet in this series. But Rusty believes that if he's going to hit Joe Torre's left-hander on the mound, he's got to go the other way and take Kenny Rogers' pitches to left and center. Now, that's one thing Rodriguez really has to keep an eye on. He knows the great move of Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, he knows it better than anybody.
Rogers picked off 6 during the regular season. Yankees are better than anybody in baseball at picking off base runners.
Yeah, that's a good point you make, because they had 29 pickoffs. Headed with 11, Rogers second most with 6. This is outside, and the count is 2-1. There you go, right what we were talking about. So if you don't believe us, just read it. Swinging through it is Rusty Greer, strike 2.
Kenny Rogers is tough on lefties because he kind of steps toward first base and crossfires. He shows you his back, and you really don't have an opportunity to pick up the ball very well out of his hand. You couple that with the fact that he throws a sweeping breaking ball that's tough for left-handers to get to.
Pudge only stole 5 times this year. Yeah, they may be looking at a hit-and-run situation more precisely than any stolen base play.
Well, that's what Johnny Oates tried to do last night with Kevin Elster at first base. They put the hit and run on, but ended up going first to third.
This will be out of play. Now remains at 2-2 here in the bottom of the first inning. No score, the Yankees and the Rangers. And there's the man, Juan Gonzalez. 4 home runs in the first 3 games. The crowd was really incited by the national anthem sung by a young girl named Michaela Enriquez. She's 9 years old. And Buck, we have rarely heard an anthem belted with such authority. The place was on its feet for 2 minutes after that.
She did as good a job as anyone I've ever heard sing the national anthem. It was beautiful.
Rear to left field. Raines has him played pretty well. Moves toward the line, makes the play. Rodriguez back to first, and here comes Juan Gonzalez. Now, for longtime Yankee fans, Juan Gonzalez in this series starring in the role of George Brett. Or, more recently, starring in the role of Edgar Martinez last year, who was a one-man wrecking crew. 47 home runs during the regular season, 144 RBIs, second in the league. And frankly, can take a team on his back. Hit a home run that hit a ball that almost went out foul last night. They sent the fireworks off anyway. Then he hit a homer to right field. Joe Torre said, he went front us both ways in the same at bat. How am I going to pitch him?
What they want to do is pitch him away. Joe Girardi is going to go out and talk to Kenny Rogers now. Just a little reinforcement right here. You remember how we're going to pitch him? Yeah. Okay, well, let's pitch him that way. Joe Torre felt like Jimmy Key was trying to throw a fastball off the plate away and caught too much of the plate. And that allowed Gonzalez to go with it the other way. Kenny Rogers can pitch inside, but I don't think they even want to mess around with Gonzalez for a strike inside. If they're going to throw a fastball inside, they have to miss with it.
Yeah, that was nowhere near the plate, way outside, 2-0. Now, to keep this in perspective, we told you at the beginning, he has 4 home runs in this series. In any series, World Series, AL or NLCS, or this brief history of the division series, the record is 5 by Junior Griffey last year against the Yankees, and Reggie Jackson in '77 against the Dodgers. He had that 3 in Game 6, 2 off Welch and the 1 off Huff. Reggie, of course, in the park here, in there. This is 3-0. But that's to put in. I mean, he's only going into Game 4, and he has a chance to obliterate the record. And those are, you know, any game, 7-game series.
And the Yankees know that they've got Will Clark, a left-hander, behind him, so I don't expect them to give Gonzalez anything to hit. Even though a walk will put runners at first and second.
Yep, you pitch him very carefully. But what that does is certainly get the boos from the crowd, but it puts 2 on with 2 out. for Will Clark. Will went 0 for 3 last night, just 2 for 11 in the series, a hit in each of the first 2 games in New York. And what the Rangers are hoping for is a flash of the Will Clark in 1989, when he hit the grand slam in Wrigley Field in Game 1 of the NLCS. It was as if he hit the ball with a Prince tennis racket. I mean, it was the sweet spot. You didn't even hear a crack of the bat, Buck, if you remember. It was gone. It was like a pool. But that's 7 years ago, and Will has that look going. Call it the Nushler. It's his middle name. And that look his Giant teammates knew as the Nushler.
You see, he's enjoyed success in the postseason, and he's got to get it going here today if the Rangers are going to continue.
I think also back to that postseason and that at bat he had against Mitch Williams and a candlestick. But again, that's a long time ago. Ranger fans are hoping he can deliver. Mel Stottlemyre is looking for a strike from Kenny Rogers.
Will Clark has never faced Kenny Rogers. Clark was out of the lineup. He spent 3 different stints on a DL this year.
Low and away, ball 2 with Pudge Rodriguez at second in scoring position. Juan Gonzalez at first. With 2 outs this year, Clark is at 302 with runners in scoring position.
Bobby Witt would love to have a run or 2 here in the first inning, give him a little cushion to work with.
This gets the outside corner, says Welke.
Will Clark, he mentioned his stints on the DL. It was a leg problem, and he never really had a real solid foundation from which to hit from. And he said timing has been a concern all throughout the second half. He relies so much on his leg, smooth, fluid swing. Ooh, he had a good pitch to hit. He got a fastball on the inner half of the plate and down, and he had a big rip. Now he's got to battle and try to take something the other way. Kenny Rogers has given him 1 pitch inside, and he'll probably go right back away.
Fastball up top a little bit, and we have a full count, which means with 2 outs, Rodriguez and Gonzalez will be moving. Dean Palmer waits his turn on deck. Crowd on their feet, 50,000 plus. So many of them wearing red, reminiscent of our game we did earlier in the week in St. Louis. Not quite as many as there, but enough. We'll do it again. And they'll do it again.
Now, this is what you want to avoid. Going to a full count to give the base runners a running start. With 2 outs, as soon as Rogers starts toward home, so he knows that those Ranger runners are going to get a jump. The Rangers haven't had any 2-out clutch hits, and that's what Clark talked about, what they need here today. And he's got his chance.
Full count to Will Clark. Crowd ready. Clark ready. Rogers not ready. Kenny Rogers is the first free agent pitcher in the 90s to come back in the next season and pitch in the postseason against his ex-club. It's happened before with Don Gullett, going back, but the first of this era of baseball. It's a unique situation this afternoon. The Nushler. Pokes it, but right at Jeter. Didn't quite get enough of it to drive it, and the Rangers have a rally but strand a pair against their ex-hurler. Oh, we've played one. Cecil Company will try it when we return. I guess this proves Juan Gonzalez is king as we check the hit count here at the ballpark in Arlington. Top of the second inning, no score, the Rangers and the Yankees. And a reminder, after the baseball, big early season Big Ten showdown. The Nittany Lions of Penn State. Hello, Columbus against the Buckeyes of Ohio State at 3:30 on ABC. And then tonight on ESPN, 7 o'clock, Clemson against Florida State. Florida State leading the nation in total defense. 7 Eastern. Center-ranked Seminoles. Bobby Bowden going up against Clemson Tigers. College football following baseball and a veritable sports cornucopia. Tino Martinez will lead off. Tino thus far is 3 for 11. All 3 of his hits coming in game 1. And Bobby Witt in there count as 1-1. Tino last year was one of the culprits against the Yankees. Such a big postseason loss in Edgar Martinez and Randy Johnson's work. The work of Tino Martinez. One of the reasons the Yankees, you can't beat him, better join him. For 409, 9 for 22. Crowd up, count as 1-2. They know Bobby Witt can bring the heat. Buck pointed out his control better this year than another year. Ground ball the second, Mark McLemore, routine. Clark, 1 down in the Yankees second.
Well, it's the first breaking ball Bobby Witt has thrown here this afternoon. He's had his good fastball. He's had good command of that pitch, and he throws the breaking ball, gets an easy out on the bat of Tino Martinez. We talked about emotions, and we talked about a good sound delivery, and it looks like Bobby Witt has control of both.
This is Cecil Fielder. Home run in game number 2, and also had a big base hit to tie that game. Inning number 8. Cecil actually did appear in the postseason in '85 with the Toronto Blue Jays, but as he told both of us yesterday, Buck, at the batting cage, that was another lie.
That's before he went to Japan.
Pitch by Witt. Bottom dropped out a little bit, 1-1. Cecil did not play in game number 1. And you figured against the right-hander, why would Joe Torre go back to him? Strawberry played in game 1, but once he saw Cecil hit his first home run in the postseason for the Yankees, he said, no, I gotta keep him in there.
Well, Cecil's one of those guys that didn't have too many opportunities to go to the postseason. Enjoyed a lot of personal success, but now he's got a chance to get that ring on his finger, and something he's always had in his mind. That's part of his game plan now and part of his focus. You see, Bobby Witt's got a good fastball today. That's the key to getting Cecil Fielder out. You can keep the ball in on his hands, keep the ball up. When he throws his fastball down around the knees and Cecil Fielder can't get to it, that tells me that Bobby Witt's got a good fastball.
Tells the fans he's got a good fastball. Well, they're hoping that they can catch the magic that the fans in the Kingdom did last year. Oh, they like that one. The riser, and Cecil will sit strikeout number 2 for Bobby Witt.
Now, that's that pitch that looks so hittable. It's upstairs. And when Bobby Witt can get the Yankee hitters to chase this pitch, it's a long day for the Yankees.
So Witt has retired all 5 that he has faced, and now Paul O'Neill. Some question before the game whether O'Neill would play. He has a hamstring problem, and many felt that now Joe Torre's just trying to give him a break. He's 1 for 12 in the series, but Buck, that was not the case. Joe and the whole staff had a close eye on him during batting practice.
Yeah, they were all down there watching Paul O'Neill, and he's got a hamstring problem. We talked about having your legs underneath you as a solid foundation, and he doesn't have that right now. He's trying to generate a swing right now. Joe Torre said, you know what, I want Paul in the lineup. He is so intense, and he wants to play in these games. But there was some question as to whether or not they were going to substitute and put Strawberry in there.
That'll be out of play. Count remains at 0-2. Bobby Witt has thrown 22 pitches, 17 for strikes, Buck. So any worry that, well, you know, he'd be too keyed up in such a big moment. He's been a Texas Ranger for a long time. So far, so good.
Yeah, he has got a chance, obviously, to help his team advance and stay in this thing. Of course, they can't advance today, but they want to stay in it.
Ripped over the head of McLemore for a base hit. So here's the guy in the Yankee lineup struggling the most. He's the last guy to be inserted into the starting lineup, and he gets the first safety of the afternoon. O'Neill on with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up last night's hero, or one of them, Mariano Duncan.
Watch the location of this pitch. Remember the high fastball? Well, he gets it down where O'Neill can get to it. And you can see Witt's frustrated by his location on that one pitch. A 2-out single to O'Neill.
Mariano Duncan, whose attitude Joe Torre had admired from afar. Done the Yankees often this year, and he said, you know what he brings to this club, that moxie, and I used that word before to describe New York, but that moxie of that championship, of the NL championship, Philly squad of 1993. Loved him, brought him over, remember, all year long in the early going. Well, Kelly's hurt. They could have a trade at second base, and Duncan came through the job. Well, he's off to a good start, but we should still look. And it went on and on and on for about 2 or 3 months until Duncan just completed a season in which he hit .340. Plus, as Witt gets ahead 0-2, he wears the shirt. We play today, we win today, that's it. And all the Yankees wear that, or many of them, underneath their jersey. Did he go? No, says John Shulock.
Well, Mariano Duncan's a dead red fastball hitter, and he has become so good this year because he's not tried to pull. They try to get him to go after that breaking ball down and away, and watch his bat. He fights to check his swing, and John Shulock said that he did.
Strike 3. 3 strikeouts through 2 innings for Bobby Witt. We move to the bottom of the second here in the ballpark in Arlington. The Yankees and the Rangers, no score. Our concurrent coverage here of the divisional playoffs here in Arlington and in Cleveland continues on ESPN 1 and ESPN 2. Glad you could be with us this afternoon. Chris Berman along with Buck Martinez on a temperature up towards 80 degrees here in Texas. A little bit of cloud cover, so the sun isn't a big problem, although it does go in and out and peaks in and out. And speaking of peaking in and out, it's the kind of series Dean Palmer has had thus far. 6-7-8 for the Rangers against Kenny Rogers. Palmer, Mickey Tettleton, and Mark McLemore. Dino with a home run, 2-run home run in game number 1. Game won by the Rangers 6-2. 1 for 6 in the second game, but the throwing error in which the Yankees won in the 12th, and then last night 0 for 4, so just 3 for 12 with the series. But oddly enough, the 3 for 12 is the second best batting out of the Rangers starters next to Juan Gonzalez.
Well, that tells you how well the Yankees have pitched against Texas.
Make it 4 for 13. It's a gapper. Palmer will make the turn. Williams bobbles the ball. Don't think he would have had him anyway. Double for Palmer.
Well, that's exactly the approach Dean Palmer had in mind facing Kenny Rogers. He said, I got to take him the other way and try to drive the ball up the alley in right center. Kenny Rogers is working the outside part of the plate. Dean Palmer has a pretty good game plan. Watch his head. He goes down and stays on that pitch. It's away from him, maybe off the plate. Bernie Williams gets over, cuts it off, but Palmer would have been into second base anyway. You can see coming around first, he never breaks stride. The play is right there in front of him, and Palmer has the leadoff double.
Mickey Tettleton, there are 2 ways to look at this at bat. He is looking for his first hit in this series. And after all these years in the majors, this is Mickey's first postseason, by the way. But the other way to look at it is, against Kenny Rogers, he's 8 for 17 lifetime. So, as someone once said, there are lies, damn lies, in statistics. One of these 2 stats will be right, and one of these 2 will be foolish. It's the one in which he hits Rogers. Base hit to center. Williams bobbles again. Palmer to the plate. 1-0 Texas.
The bottom of the lineup for the Texas Rangers came into this game batting 127. They had to get some production down in the bottom of the lineup. Mickey Tettleton gets his first hit of the series and puts the Rangers ahead 1-0. When you have success against the pitcher, you got a lot of confidence. And even though Rogers made a pretty good pitch with a breaking ball outside, Tettleton ripped it into center, and Bernie Williams bobbled it. These guys are pumped.
Texas now has led in all 4 of these games. They've won just one of them, but they'll take their chances coming from ahead. Something we'll get into is the difference of the bullpens, that's for sure. Mark McLemore pulled back the bunt. He laid down a beautiful bunt last night. McLemore is somebody who opened the eyes of Johnny Oates when the two of them were together in Baltimore. That looks familiar.
Mickey Tettleton is wearing a very big leg brace, and he has had trouble with his knees. He got torn cartilage in there, and no ligaments or cartilage in there at all. Now, the reason we point that out is in this bunting situation, if they don't put down a perfect bunt, Tettleton may be a target at second. Wade Boggs is charging hard from third base. The play right here is to bunt it to the first baseman, Tino Martinez, who is a right-handed fielder. So tough play for him to wheel and fire to second. Swing it away.
I wonder if Mickey has a spare knee brace, by the way. I could use one.
He had a blowout, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Look at McLemore studying the signs down there at third. We mentioned Tettleton's lack of speed. Johnny Oates may want to allow McLemore to swing away.
Missed outside, so as Tettleton delivered his first hit of the postseason, McLemore has also been in a slump. He's just 1 for 11 in the 3 games, and that one hit coming in game 1 on Tuesday in New York. Breaking ball, Jeter backhands. Oh, what a play. He made to Mariano Duncan to retire the slow-moving Tettleton. And he never panicked, knowing it was Tettleton running, Buck.
Well, he had a lot of confidence. He played 150 games at shortstop this year, and that ball was hitting the hole, and he knew he had Tettleton running from first. Mickey didn't think he was out. What's the effort by the shortstop, Jeter? Way into the hole, and he throws before he stops across his body. He bounces it to Duncan, who is there for the force out. Ted Henry, the umpire, is camped out, watching the play right in front of him. And you can see that, sure enough, Tettleton was out at second. Another fine play by the Yankee rookie.
Well, he just continues to impress us every time we see him. How many big base hits has he gotten? You think back to that 2-1 game that the Yankees beat the Orioles and that we did when they got a run on the 9th and the run on the 10th, the first of that 3-game set, at which point the Orioles had cut it to 3. And that really was their most important regular season win of the year. And Jeter figured prominently in that, as he has in so many this season. As he did obviously in the 9th inning last night, and Rogers keeps an eye on McLemore, who is likely to move.
Well, McLemore had 27 steals during the regular season. They've got a good hit-and-run situation here with Elster at the plate. Johnny Oates tried to hit and run last night with Elster as the runner at first base. And they really botched it up. He broke late. Hamilton swung through it, but the Yankees forgot to cover second. I tell you, with these Yankee left-handers and their tough moves, it's really tough on a good runner like McLemore. Joe Torre knows he's got the best staff in the big leagues to help his catcher out. Kenny Rogers with 6 pickoffs, as you mentioned earlier.
Outside corner to Elster for a strike. Kevin is 2 for 9, a hit in the first game, a hit in the second. And you think about what a season he is. 99 RBIs from the number 9 hole, and a guy that played more games this year did Elster at short he did in the rest of the 90s.
Well, Kenny Rogers has really slowed things down now, trying to figure out where to go. We haven't seen Rogers throw too many pitches inside. Everything has been down and away, basically, and the Rangers are starting to go out there and get those pitches. We've got to do enough inside to keep them off the outer half of the plate.
Way up and out, 1-1. Top of the order next, Phil Hamilton. There it is. We're getting 99 ribbies in the 9 slot very often.
Well, that's what's been so surprising about the way the Yankees have shut down the bottom of this Ranger lineup.
Of course, that's a record that doesn't go that far back. I mean, before the DH, I don't think any pitcher is going to get 99 RBIs once every 5 games. Just to put it in perspective, but still, it doesn't knock 99 RBIs.
I don't care where you hit the lineup, you get 99 ribbies. That's a good year.
Nice. Good view of the ballpark in Arlington.
McLemore certainly has Rogers' attention at first base. Kenny Rogers has really slowed his pace down here in this inning.
Oh, you've noticed? I don't think he's exactly double parked outside the stadium. 1-2, the count to Elster. Rip right up the middle, base hit. McLemore will stop at second base as Williams comes up with it. And so that bottom of the order coming through for the Rangers. What's going on in Cleveland, Gary Miller?
Chris, scoreless game in the second when Rafael Palmeiro, with that picture-perfect swing, golfs a 1-0 home run off Charles Nagy. But the Birds weren't done. Bobby Bonilla, who grand slammed him in game 1, polished with a home run of his own. 2 solo shots, and David Wells and the Birds are up 2-0 as Cleveland comes to bat in the bottom of the second. Back to you for the rest of the Rangers in Texas.
All right, Gary, thank you. Boy, ex-Rangers all over the place at Palmeiro hitting a home run. Now big conference on the mound. As rhythm is on, obviously, and Mel Stottlemyre wants to talk about it with Rogers.
Now, Joe Girardi came out immediately talking things over with Kenny Rogers, and now Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, is out talking about this situation. Rogers has really slowed the pace, as I mentioned, and he's working exclusively to the outer half of the plate. And Joe Torre has already started the bullpen down in left center for New York.
Brian Bollinger, well, game 2.
Well, this guy came on in the second half. He was sent back to Columbus and got his act together. And when he came back, he was really throwing well.
Now, I know as well as the Yankees bullpen has done, and that's 12 2/3 is scoreless relief. You can't get any better than that. Having them up and throwing in inning number 2 is not what Joe Torre had in mind. He was looking for 5 or 6 out of Rogers. Just got 5 out of Key last night. So if I get 5 out of Rogers, that's really where I'll be very happy. Rogers on the ropes here in the second inning. 1 run in, 2 on, and Darrell Hamilton, who struck out looking to begin the first inning for the Rangers, looks at ball 1 up high. Well, Hamilton was not annoyed, Buck, but he was quite vocal about the introductions and playing the outfield in Yankee Stadium. And he was wondering whether he should get the AA or the AAA batteries. So we're looking forward to coming home to our fans.
Well, it's an experience to be a visiting ball player in Yankee Stadium. I went through it in 1976 with the Royals. It's exhilarating, and it can be interesting. This is designed to buy Brian Boehringer some more time. Joe Girardi goes out, finishes up a chat. There you see Brian Boehringer. That's Tony Cloninger, the bullpen coach, monitoring his pitches.
Well, we told you how outside of Gonzalez, the rest of the team of the Rangers hit 170 in the first 3 games. That was just 16 hits by Rangers other than Gonzalez. They already have 4 by Rangers other than Gonzalez. And here we are in the second inning. Rodriguez a single, Palmer a double, Tettleton a single, Elster a single. Hamilton waves at that one. It's 2-1. Skied behind third. Jeter is there. Now the sun is out, but he makes the play for out number 2. So McLemore back to second, Elster back to first, and Pudge Rodriguez, who singled in the first, will step up. 1 run home. Pudge now is 4 for 13 in the series. So he has put his average above the 300 mark, and that's Gonzalez and company need a little help.
Well, here's a guy that can really jump on those outside pitches from Kenny Rogers. Pudge Rodriguez had a phenomenal year for a catcher. Hitting over 300, he had 47 doubles. He loves the outer half of the plate. Kenny Rogers has yet to challenge any of these Ranger hitters inside. And Rodriguez has really done a job anytime he gets the ball on the outer plate away from him. One pitch inside right there.
Crowder's trying to Kenny. Trying to get his ghost.
Now, Rodriguez being a catcher, remember he singled on a fastball away in his first at bat. If I were pitching to him right now, I'd come right back inside again because he's thinking outside.
Ripped to left center field, base hit, Raines is over. McLemore comes around to score. 2-0 Rangers. 2 for 2 for Pudge Rodriguez. And the Ranger crowd on its feet.
Joe Torre's not going to wait too long on Kenny Rogers. He knows he can't allow these Rangers to really get their swings against Rogers if he doesn't have his real good stuff. He made a pretty good pitch to Pudge Rodriguez, but it was too predictable. Down and away, you see it may have been out of the strike zone low, but Rodriguez was looking away and hooks it into left field for his second hit of the afternoon.
Well, you may be right with the right-hander Gonzalez coming up. If Greer does not make it out here, this could be it for Rogers. Greer sends it to left center field. Williams is over. Raines is over. They collide. Williams caught for it, lost the glasses. Raines got the ball. Well, the Rangers have picked up a 2 spot here against their ex-mate Kenny Rogers. We played a pair in Arlington. 2-0 Texas. Back in Texas, the Rangers with 2 in the bottom of the second off ex-mate Kenny Rogers. And now we move to the top of the third. 8-9-1 for Joe Torre, Joe Girardi, Derek Jeter, Timmy Raines. And during the half inning, Rogers obviously not thrilled. Buck?
Well, he is disappointed with his start, obviously, here, but in my mind, he hasn't pitched enough inside to keep the Rangers off that outside dead fish that he throws so effectively. But you've got to pitch inside to make the hitters think about opening up and trying to quicken up a bit. Bobby Witt has been just the opposite of Kenny Rogers in that he has had great command of his fastball. Plus the fact that when he throws strikes early in the count, that forces the Yankees to expand their strike zone and chase those high fastballs.
Now the Rangers with a lead here for Bobby Witt, who was born, birth certificate says Virginia, but he grew up in Canton, Massachusetts, just south of Boston, a little north of Foxborough. But Bobby also understands what it is to pitch in this part of the country from his college days, University of Oklahoma. #1 pick, #3 pick overall in 1985 as a Ranger from 87 to 92. And went over to Oakland in the Conseco trade, a little bit to Florida, came back here in August of last season. So a second tour of duty with the Rangers. It's fitting that he gets a start. His brother is the bullpen coach, has been that since 92 here. So it is kind of home for Bobby. He'll come home. Massachusetts boy, become a Cowboy. Pitch is a little bit low to Joe Girardi. Girardi this series is 1 for 6. Leyritz played game #2. His elbow was okay. It was needed to pinch hit. Leyritz was hit on the elbow in game #2.
Now, this is the last thing Dick Bosman, the pitching coach, and Johnny Oates, the manager, want to see. Bobby Witt gets a 2-run lead and comes out and throws 3 balls to the first batter. Generally, when a team scores against you, you want your pitcher to come out and throw strike after strike. Get your team back on offense.
Well, there's his first walk of the afternoon. Bobby Witt, of course, throughout his career, has had some intriguing line scores. Now, a lot of this is a long time ago. But to me, this is the most amazing line score in the history of pitching. On April 17th at the Brewers in '86, 5 innings pitched, gave up no hits, but had to be yanked with 8 walks, despite 10 strikeouts, 4 wild pitches, 18 balls bounced to the backstop. That was the young and wild Bobby Witt, where strikeouts and walks were equal. He's really cut down. He's not as much of a, he's more of a 7 strikeout per 9 pitcher now, Buck, than a 9 per 9. His control has been better. Well, that was a glimpse of the old Witt as Derek Jeter goes a long way and fouls it off.
Chris, there's never been any question about Bobby Witt's stuff. 9 strikeouts per game throughout the early part of his season, and he's always been the guy that would come out and blow you away. The only question was, how many pitches was he going to throw, and how many was he going to walk? In this ball game, just 33 pitches as he's worked here in the 3rd inning.
Imagine having a no-hitter and being yanked in 5 because you've put too many people on base, people walks. Jeter smacks this one to center field, but Darrell Hamilton turned one way, then turned the other way and made the play. 1 out, Girardi back at first.
That ball looked like it was knuckling out to center field, and that's why Hamilton had a funny reaction. Once again, Derek Jeter hits it right on the nose, but it hung up for Hamilton to run underneath it.
So bring up Timmy Raines just to close this little part about Bobby Witt, because we looked up some of his line scores, which are actually hysterical. In 1990, in a game at Oakland, he had, in 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts and 10 walks. One of only 5 pitchers in Major League history to have both double figures in strikeouts and double figures in walks in the same game. Nolan Ryan, Jim Maloney during a extra inning no-hitter, Bob Felt, and a guy named Johnny Lush, 1906 with the Phils, who then went out and probably fired a few down after that one with that team. Pitch misses now to Timmy Raines. It seems like Witt's rhythm is off a little bit now, Buck.
To me, it looks like he's trying to guide the ball into the strike zone as opposed to the way he was aggressive in the first 2 innings. Maybe thinking about protecting that 2-run lead instead of being aggressive as he was early inning. That's Dick Bosman giving some signs for Pudge Rodriguez.
Hit well to left field. Rusty Greer, though, has room at the edge of the track. Makes the play. Girardi all the way down to second base. Retreats to first. There's 2 outs.
I would imagine Dick Bosman's going to have a conversation with Bobby Witt at the end of this inning about being aggressive again, the way he came out and started this game.
Wade Boggs grounded to shortstop his first time up. Brian Bowringer still up and throwing in the pen, so Juan Dallas to lead off. We'll see what Joe Torre has in mind. And the top of the 3rd inning. 2-0 Texas. Singles by Tettleton and Rodriguez in the bottom of the 2nd. Rodriguez coming with 2 outs. Boggs swung through that fastball. There's the Bobby Witt. There it is on. Strike 1. Fouled off. One other thing, though, about Witt, Buck. We mentioned those back and forth. In a game last year, 12 Ks, no walks. In a game in '94, 14 Ks, no walks.
Yeah, he has grown up as a pitcher now, recognizing that his stuff is so good, he doesn't have to muscle up on every pitch. He's been able to be in the strike zone more consistently the last couple of years.
Inside.
They threw a cut fastball slider type of pitch on the inside part of the plate, and everybody knows about Wade Boggs with 2 strikes. He's hit over 250 for his career with 2 strikes. He loves the ball away from him, something he just pokes into left field. I'd be surprised if they come inside again with something hard.
Boggs lofts one to right field. Should be easy for Gonzalez in the shadows. It is, and the Yankees are gone. So Bobby Witt does his job after walking the leadoff man Juan Gonzalez. Nobody's done a job like he has against the Yankees. He leads off. Third inning here at the ballpark in Arlington, and Kenny Rogers is gone, and right-hander Brian Boehringer is on. He got the win in game 2. Got the last out on the 12th. The Yankees won at the bottom of the 12th.
Well, Brian Boehringer went down to the minors, and before he left the last time, got a good talking to from the pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre about being more aggressive.
Forget it. Back. Going Gonzalez. He has just tied 2 Major League records. 5 home runs in a single series for the postseason. Ties him with Junior Griffey last year, Reggie Jackson of 77. He's the only player now, along with Jeffrey Leonard, in 1987, the NLCS, to homer in 4 consecutive postseason games. The Hackman did it for the Giants. Oh, my goodness. Juan Gonzalez, is there any pitch he can't hit?
Well, let me tell you something. He's in one of those things right now. Everything he is saying, he's saying it well. And Brian Boehringer, as I was mentioning, wanting to be aggressive and get ahead. Threw a high fastball, and Gonzalez crushed it.
3-0 Texas, and Will Clark looks at an off-speed pitch inside. Well, we brought the new pitcher, and we had to at least spend 10 seconds to identify the new pitcher. That was a no-doubter. 5 plus his 47 give him 52 this season. But Joe Torre told me before the game, Buck, I have no idea how to pitch to him. We have no idea.
Well, you got to pitch to him off the plate right now.
Well, that's what they did the first at bat. 4 balls.
Now, you just can't give him anything to hit right now. He is so hot. He came in facing the Yankees back in July here and had 7 consecutive hits against the Yankees. You can have all the meetings you want about how to pitch to a particular guy. You know, let's go inside. I don't know. Let's go outside right now. Doesn't make any difference.
Foul back by Clark.
The Yankees have had advanced scouts watch Gonzalez. They've had their coaching staff scrutinize video. They've had meetings with pitchers. What do you want to do? Jimmy Key threw him 7 consecutive fastballs down here in July and 1 at bat. And he hit the last pitch for a 3-run home run. And that's totally against Jimmy Key's pattern of pitching. He was just looking for some way to get Gonzalez out.
Count is full to Will Clark. Ranger fans came expecting some offense, and they've gotten it this far. 3-0 lead here in the bottom of inning number 3. Ripped by Clark to center field, but gets under it. Bernie Williams is there. He gets under it, and there's 1 out. And shall we say that he got all this pitch, Buck?
Let's take a look at the swing by Gonzalez. First pitch from Brian Boehringer, and you can see that Girardi was set up outside. That fastball had enough movement to bring it to the inner half of the plate, and he hit it off that back wall. A no-doubter. He's pumped. His first shot at the postseason. And Joe Torre is trying to figure out what to do next.
Dean Palmer doubled and scored the first Ranger run. Ground ball. Oh, and Jeter boots it. Ball scooted under his glove. And the impregnable Yankee defense scuffling a little bit. Let's go quickly to Gary Miller.
Chris, in Cleveland, Charles Nagy gave up back-to-back home runs to Palmeiro and Bonilla when he faced him in the second. With 2 aboard in the third, he sticks out Palmeiro and Bonilla looking. Nagy gets out of it, but the Indians are still in a 2-0 hole. Wells has a 1-hitter. Back to you.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Orioles trying to do away with the defending AL champs. Well, the Yankees in a hole here. They both win today. Orioles-Yankees in an all-East final in the American League. But the Rangers have other ideas, that's for sure. As Tettleton singled in Palmer in the second inning, he's 1 for 1, his first hit postseason or in any of his postseason. Obviously, an error to Derek Jeter on the Palmer ground ball. One out. Tettleton hopes to make the Yankees pay.
One thing we should mention about Gonzalez's home run, that's the first run that the Yankee bullpen has allowed in this series. He came into this ball game 12 2/3 of scoreless relief, and Brian Boehringer gives up the first run. Can't really hold it against him, though, as hot as Gonzalez has been. Chris, I've been in situations like that where you're behind a good hitter like a Juan Gonzalez, and you really try to do totally opposite things. Gonzalez is a good fastball hitter when he can extend his arm. The pitch he hit off Jimmy Key last night was a sinking fastball down and away, just on the edge of the plate. He's hit off-speed pitches. He's hit inside fastballs. And I think the best approach to him right now is if he wants to chase a ball, fine. But we're not throwing him any more strikes.
Nope. Kenny Rogers gone after 2. It's Boehringer now. And Boehringer had a real bell ringer with his first pitch, did he not? I mean, wow, his name was so long I didn't get to say, oh, by the way, Gonzalez is up and gone. Pete Tettleton, one of the first Rangers here at the park this morning. Out very early in the morning mist. Draws a base on ball. So Mickey, who has struggled, has now been aboard both times this afternoon. That'll move Palmer down to second base. And with 1 out, 2 men on, here is Mark McLemore. Almost 3 million fans into the ballpark in Arlington this year. Just shy of 2.9, and 2 postseason games are over 100,000. Crowd last night was the second biggest, strike one, second biggest in the young history of the ballpark. The biggest was the All-Star game, but last night's crowd was the largest in the history of the ballpark in Arlington, in which temperatures were below 100 degrees. Well, that All-Star game was an 8 schmutzrag affair, I'll tell you. Oh, 1 pitch to McLemore, ripped up the middle, base hit. Here comes Palmer around third. Williams will not throw. 4-0 Texas.
Well, we pointed out that the Texas Rangers had gotten production from the top of their lineup and nothing from the bottom. And finally, Joe Torre is seeing the bottom of this Ranger lineup break out here today. Mark McLemore, 1 for 11 before this game today. And watch the base runner at second base, Dean Palmer. He has to freeze to make sure that ball goes through, and then gets the go-ahead from Jerry Narin, the third base coach. He scores the 4th run for the Rangers. McLemore now just 2 for 13. And Mel Stottlemyre is back out to the mound.
Well, Buck, even Mel Stottlemyre and Joe Torre knew that 12 2/3 of scoreless relief in the bullpen, and not all of which, of course, have been delivered by Mariano Rivera and John Wetland, and that wasn't going to continue. And so now here in just 1/3 of an inning, the Rangers have scored 2 runs, and they're looking for more. Now Tettleton at second base does not move well. McLemore does move. He's on first for Kevin Elster. Hit to right center field. O'Neill got a late jump on it, then moved in. And there are 2 down, and the runners hold. Later on tonight, hey, we got plenty more. Well, there's plenty more baseball on the air. the Dodgers and Braves, Game 3, and those have been some tremendous pitchers duels. We were at both of them. That's on Fox. If you're looking for that game at 4 o'clock, our friends at Fox have that one with Hideo Nomo trying to keep the Dodgers alive against last year's World Series MVP Tommy Glavine. And then NBC, our friends there, will bring us 7:30 from what's sure to be a juiced-up Murph. The Padres trying to hang in there, down 0-2 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Those are the other 2 games, and then depending on what happens today, we'll let you know what's going on tomorrow. All the games played will be on. We just don't know where yet, nor do we know where we're going to be. We have plane tickets to what, 3 different cities?
We'll be around somewhere.
We're around. We are around. So we got a ticket to Atlanta, one to San Diego, stay here, or NFL primetime. I mean, who knows? Check swing by Hamilton, chops it in the dugout.
Well, given the way that the Rangers have given up leads late in the ball game, you can bet that they want to continue to tack on to this 4-run score. They have been in position to win all 3 games in this series. And have had a couple of tough losses in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they blew that 3-run lead in game number 2. 3 times this year, the Rangers blew leads of 7 or more. I mean, they're just not much at nailing it down, but they've nailed the baseball thus far. They want to tack this up as high as they can. Darryl Hamilton gets under this one. Will then find the seats. Long run by Tino Martinez and Paul O'Neill. And Paul Gimpy over there in that corner. Caught it. It's out of our view, and in your view. Good run by O'Neill with the Gimpy hamstrings. But Gonzalez has gone deep. The Rangers have erupted again for another pair. And we played 3 here in Arlington. The Rangers hotter than the Texas Heat. 4-0 leaders. The view from the office complex. The view from the Chiefs. Here at the ballpark at Arlington. And what a pleasant view it is. Crowd excited thus far as the Rangers lead the Yankees 3-0. Rather 4-0 through 3. And later today, it's a lot of 3s you're working here. Later here on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. That's 1:30 Mountain Time. Number 3, Ohio State. In college football, will host Penn State, the Indy Lions and the Buckeyes. 2 top 5 teams going at it. Big Ten. Big early season game in Columbus. The leaves haven't even started to turn yet. They're playing games of this magnitude. It's on ABC. Don't forget Florida State Clemson tonight on ESPN at 7. In baseball on ESPN2 is the Orioles, the Indians, Gary Miller keeping us updated. Chris Berman along with Buck Martinez here in Arlington. Will there be a game 5? Well, the Yankees have their work cut out for them. Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, and Cecil Fielder against Bobby Witt. Bernie Williams in his postseason career. I mean, he's one of the most underpublicized, real good players in the majors. 9 games, including today, 13 for 32, 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 406 as a postseason performer. Last year against the Mariners, and of course this year against the AL West champion Rangers. Canada's 1-1 of Bernie Williams. And the imposing figure of Cecil. One of 14 to ever hit 50 home runs in a season. Did it oddly enough at Yankee Stadium as a member of the Tigers. And he hit a pair. Broken bat. Oh, McLemore gave it a good shot, but he can't get it. And the Yankees, Bernie Williams has his second hit. Has the second hit of the day for New York. And his 14th hit in 2 postseason series.
Man, did he get sawed off. The barrel of this bat explodes. He hit it right on the end of the bat, and the barrel goes into the seats. The ball goes over Mark McLemore's head. He can't make a play on it. Bobby Witt made another good pitch, but Bernie Williams fights it off for a base hit.
I hope the fans aren't hurt down. There's a lot of confusion 8 rows back behind the on-deck circle. Looks like that splinter may have hurt somebody. Boy, that is dangerous. Then meanwhile, Tino Martinez is up with 0 for 1, a ground ball to second base. 1 ball, no strikes to Tino Martinez.
Boy, Whit and Rodriguez couldn't get together on that
No.
pitch, and now Rodriguez tapped his head as if to say, Bobby, stay with me now.
He's getting down in the seats. That's why we're momentarily quiet. Well, of course, that's not saying it's bad, too. Looks like you're all right.
This is where Bobby Witt really kind of has to take command of this game. They're down 2-1 in this series. They got a 4-run lead. The Rangers starters won 75 games this season. That led the majors. So the starters have done this all year long. Just take the game in their own hands.
Rip down the line, but it's going to be a foul ball. And that just missed by a couple of inches, and that could have got the Yankees going, but call came immediately from Shulock at first base. So instead of an extra base hit, and the Yankees having a pair of runners in scoring position, Joe Torre and the Yankees find Martinez in the hole at 1-2 against Bobby Witt, and the pitch coming to life again, looking for a strikeout. Witt has 3 thus far this afternoon. 4-0 Texas, top of the 4th. Here goes the base runner. Rodriguez is going to throw. Oh, they're trying to make something happen against Pudge Rodriguez, and Burniams does steal the base.
Well, the Yankees had some success against the Texas Rangers this year. They were 8 out of 11. But 3 of those stolen bases came against Dave Valley. But Joe Torre said, you know what, we got to get something going here. My team is just a little flat. Bernie Williams gets a pretty jump against Bobby Witt here. And Pudge Rodriguez kind of rushed his throw. It was high at second base.
Two and two the count to Tino Martinez. Bud set up outside. Witt was a little farther outside of the target than that. And the count now is full. The Yankees are known as a running team, but they're up in about the middle, or a little bit above the middle in stolen bases in the American League. And opposing figure just a fielder on deck. They'll do it again at 3-2.
It's only the 4th inning. And against Bobby Witt, they've got to advance Bernie Williams from second after the stolen base. Nobody out.
Rip again, just foul. That one a little more pronounced foul. So Martinez out in front of Witt a couple of times.
Well, what Tino's got to do is really think about focusing in, trying to get something he can pull, and at least get Bernie Williams over to third. Just kind of try to carve into this 4-run deficit.
This one past Pudge Rodriguez. Williams to third. You didn't see that very often.
Now, he came up on that. That was a breaking ball. He never really stayed down on it. He was trying to catch it with his glove. Martinez goes to first on the ball 4. Dick Bosman looks like he's going to come to the mound and have a talk with Bobby Witt. Watch Rodriguez. He doesn't go down and block this ball. He's trying to catch it with his glove. And you see that the ball never came up for him. It stayed down and skipped right between his legs. You got to go down and block this ball. Rodriguez is so good with his glove, but he let that ball get right between his legs. That's a wild pitch charged to Bobby Witt. And now Dick Bosman out to talk to his right-hander and remind him about how he was so effective early in the game, throwing fastballs early in the count to get ahead.
Dennis Cook, the lefty, and Patterson up in the Texas bullpen. Patterson, the righty.
Because Johnny Oates knows no lead is safe, and that's not a knock on his pitchers. It's just a fact. Texas has a 4-1 lead at Yankee Stadium in game number 2. With the lead by a run on the 9th last night. Couldn't nail either of them down. And that'll bring up Cecil Fielder. Ripped up the middle. Cecil delivers a base hit, and the Yankees are on the board. So the Yankees have cut it to 4-1. Well, it's odd. The Yankees were 2-5 in this building here this year, but they're 2-0 with Cecil in Yankee pinstripes. He came over on August 1st and was in uniform when they won the last game of the regular season, and now they won last night, so maybe he's the good luck charm.
Well, Cecil got a breaking ball. It didn't really get to the outside part of the plate, kind of spun on the outer half, and he took it right back up the middle. Johnny Oates sitting anxiously on his bench, looking for something positive here. Has seen this Yankee team come back time and time again.
And they do it by doing little things. I mean, a stolen base then enabled Williams to scamper over on a pitch. And it's not impressive. A pair of singles, a stolen base, a walk, and they got a big rally going. Ball 1 to Paul O'Neill, who singled in the 2nd inning to right field. Just Paul's 2nd hit of the series. He's now 2 for 13. High and tight.
Look at Rodriguez behind the plate, encouraging Witt to get back in the strike zone. He threw out his hand and said, come on, let's go, get back in here. Dick Bosman has done a good job with these starters all year long. Following encouragement for Witt from the dugout.
Good pitch on the outside corner of the plate, strike 1. Tino Martinez at 2nd base, Cecil Fielder at 1st base.
Bobby Witt threw a low fastball to O'Neill with 2 strikes last time up, and Paul singled into center. Much better low ball hitter.
The pitch in the same spot, strike 2.
It's that high fastball. He runs about belt high. Rodriguez is set up on the outside corner, and you see that fastball catches the outside corner. Got to finish him off, in my mind, on this pitch. 2-2. Don't go to 3-2 to O'Neill. Now you get yourself in a situation where you got to throw fastball, and you give O'Neill an opportunity to look fastball. Another tough hitter on deck in Mariano Duncan. Not liable to run in this situation with Martinez and Fielder on the bases.
Ripped to center field. Hamilton coming on, slides, makes the catch. Big catch in center field by Darrell Hamilton. Martinez and Fielder quickly back to the bases.
Now, Darrell Hamilton has been part of a very solid defense up the middle for Johnny Oates, and that ball looked like it was hit off the end of the bat. It kept dying away from Hamilton, but he had to kept coming after it. And the ball sinking to the turf. Watch the effort by Hamilton. A big swing by O'Neill, but he hit it off the end of the bat.
So Mariano Duncan up with 2 aboard and 1 run home here in the Yankee 4th. 4-1 Texas. 2 in the 2nd and 2 in the 3rd. 1 on a solo home run by Juan Gonzalez, his 5th of the series. Duncan struck out against Witt to end the 2nd inning. That's a base hit to center field. Hamilton over quickly. Tino Martinez being waved around. The throw goes to 3rd. Cecil stays at 2nd base. And the Yankees have cut it in half, 4-2.
Duncan, boy, he is a great mistake hitter, and they threw him a breaking ball that just didn't get down. Bobby Witt left it up in the zone, and Mariano Duncan hammered it, and that's going to be the end of Bobby Witt's afternoon here. And Johnny Oates quickly out of that dugout. And it was a bad breaking ball that Mariano Rivera hit to center to drive home the second run of this inning.
Well, a couple longtime teammates, Bobby Witt and Kenny Rogers, started against each other. Neither will be around here as the game gets going. Witt is gone. Danny Patterson is in. The Yankees have cut it in half, 4-2. This is Joe Girardi swinging first pitch from the relief pitcher, Danny Patterson, and fouls it back. 2 men on here for Patterson to try and quell the Yankee rally. Cecil at second and Mariano Duncan at first base. 25-year-old right-hander, 6 foot 185 from San Gabriel, California.
Danny Patterson has 23 days in the big leagues. He's on the roster because Kevin Gross is on the DL with his disc problem.
Look at the bunt by Girardi. Palmer double clutches and all hands are safe. What a good play by Joe Girardi to load the bases. Here's Patterson. You mentioned a youngster just trying to think about throwing strikes. Didn't even think about fielding the position. Plus, Girardi laid down a beauty.
Now, he got it in the grass between the mound and third base, and he was able to kill it. Dean Palmer came over from his position, gloved it, and took a look at Girardi. You see, Palmer breaks toward the line and then has to come toward the mound, and by the time he fields it, he looks up. Girardi's too close to first to make a throw. All of a sudden, all the momentum is in the Yankees' favor.
So Cecil at third, Duncan at second, Girardi at first, and the hot Yankee hitter in this series, Derek Jeter. 0 for 1. He's 6 for 14 in the series.
Well, the last thing, excuse me, Chris, the last thing the Rangers wanted to do was go to their bullpen in the 4th inning.
Pitch low and away. It's 2-0. And Bobby Witt knows that he cannot win it. He can't lose it, but that's not the issue right now. His team can lose it, and that's what he's kicking himself for. All set up for him with a 4-0 lead. Chopper, Palmer, McLemore. Jeter runs well to run through the double play, and Fielder scores. It's 4-3.
Well, I don't know why that ball wasn't hit sharply enough to go around the horn. I would have come home to the plate, cut off the run at the plate. McLemore didn't have much of a chance for the double play. That ball wasn't hit sharply enough. Go to the plate.
Cecil running to the plate.
Cut down the run at the plate. This is not a double play ball. You see it's tapped. Palmer's got a long run over and then tosses for the force out. I'd have gone ahead and gone to the plate, cut the run down. Good effort there by Girardi. He's all over McLemore. But I don't think McLemore had a legitimate shot to get Derek Jeter, who runs well.
Now, Danny Patterson has now been lifted, and Dennis short order Cook comes running in from the bullpen to face the left-handed Timmy Raines. The Yankees have picked up 3. We've got a game again. Back in Texas, the Yankees have played at 3 here in the top of the 4th inning. The left-hander, 34-year-old as of yesterday, Dennis Cook, comes on to turn Timmy Raines around from the left to the right side.
Well, he gets Raines to hit from the right side, his weaker side, but more importantly, Dennis Cook was better than anybody in the majors in retiring the first batter he faced. First batters were just 3 for 46 against Cook, and with 2 outs and that runner at third base, that's why Johnny Oates goes to Cook.
Duncan at third, Jeter at first. 2 out, the 8th man to the plate for the Yankees here in the 4th. And Cook will courtesy toss it to keep an eye on Jeter.
Remember, Joe Torre gambled a bit here in this inning with Bernie Williams at first. He stole second, and that's what got the inning going. I'm afraid to run on Pudge Rodriguez.
Inside to Raines for a ball. Well, the Rangers, starting with Bobby Witt, they just stopped throwing strikes. They roll their way, and then poof.
like Bobby Witt got a little defensive with that 4-run lead.
Slow motion out there on the mound as we started at a decent pace. But gentlemen, start your engines. The Yankees have got started here in the fourth. Looking every which way. Now to Raines. Up top. Ball 2. Cook pitched 1 inning in relief of Kent Hill in game 2 in New York. Had a hitless 7th inning. This is his second appearance in the series. Duncan can tie it up if he can scamper home here with 2 outs. Foul back. 2-1 to Timmy Raines. And Raines, a long time for him. Postseason. Early 80s with the Expos. He was in there in 81. But with this opportunity. And like last night in the 9th inning, would like to deliver.
Boy, Cook's not really very comfortable right now in this situation. Obviously,
neither are we watching.
The tying runs at third base just 90 feet away, but they have really slowed down the pace of this ballgame. That's being the Texas Ranger pitcher. The Yankees threatening to tie it up here with 2 outs in the 4th.
Inside fastball, 3-1.
Well, now Rodriguez is going to go out and talk to Cook. This is one concern that the Rangers had, having to go to that bullpen early. As I mentioned, the starters led the majors in wins. And they had generally pitched late into the ball game, but now they had to go to the pen in the 4th inning.
We mentioned Raines, of course, a youngster with the Expos 81, didn't want to admit the 93 White Sox, but he would like to get a chance at his first World Series. Big situation for him with the count as favorite. 3-1, 2 out, the tying run at third base. Fouls it back, will do it again. 3-2 now. Well, that'll enable Jeter to get moving from first base.
You kind of get the sense that the Yankees are already leading. The Rangers still have a 1-run lead here. Well, I tell you, when a pitcher takes so long, the defense really gets on their heels.
Ball 4. Sacks are full for Wade Boggs. So Boggs becomes the 9th Yankee to bat here in the 4th inning against Johnny Oates' Rangers.
Now Wade Boggs is stepping up after the base on balls, and you can bet he is looking for a good first pitch here, expecting Dennis Cook to try to get ahead.
There's a strike. Good pitch by Cook. Low and away.
Dick Bosman just got on the phone, and they're going to get somebody else up in that bullpen.
Boggs 0 for 2 today. 1 for 10 in the series. That one is outside. Ball 1. 1-1. Mariano Duncan, the tying run at third base. Derek Jeter, the go-ahead run at second. Timmy Raines, who can run at first, although his hammy's still bothering him a little. But this is for the Yankees. 3 good guys on the base pass. They can move around. On any gapper by Boggs. Inside fastball misses 2-1. Roger Pavlik is now up throwing. An all-star starter who really struggled in September to fall out of the rotation. He's up in the pen. To center field, but Hamilton is there. And the Yankees strand 3 after picking up 3. Don't go away. The Yankees are in it, and Juan Gonzalez is due up third. Bottom of the 4th inning. Heading there. The Rangers lead the Yankees 4-3. Bottom of the 4th. Now that the Yankees have made a game of it. Pudge, Rodriguez, Rusty Greer, and Juan Gonzalez trying to give the Rangers back their breathing room. Swinging at the first pitch. Diving is Boggs. Firing is Jeter. Running is Rodriguez. Safe. Crowd on its feet here. They on its feet in Cleveland. Let's go to Gary Miller.
Developments for David Wells as Sandy Alomar Jr. was hitting under 100 in this series. It's enough of it to knock in 2. They've tied it, but the Orioles are threatening in their half of the 5th. Back to you.
All right, Gary, thank Pudge. Rodriguez now 3 for 3 this afternoon. 3 singles, and that'll bring up Rusty Greer. Greer 0 for 2, 2 fly balls to left field. Got to thank Pudge Rodriguez for swinging at the first pitch, Buck, to get some life back into this game. I mean, we're almost 2 hours old.
Well, Rodriguez has had a great day already. 3 for 3. He has a ribby.
So he's now 6 for 15 this series. They're quickly up to 400.
This is the guy they need to get going right here. Rusty Greer.
No accident that the day he came back off the injury list was the day they ended their 1-9 string that saw their lead, their big lead over the Mariners, shrink to 1 game. He had a home run his first game back, and the Rangers were off afterwards.
They won 4 out of the first 5 games when Rusty Greer came back and then clinched the division.
On deck, the imposing figure of Juan Gonzalez has already gone deep today for his 5th home run in the season of the series. If he hits another one in his next at bat or any time in this series, it'll be a new postseason record for any single series of any sort. Strike by Boehringer to Rusty Greer, taking it 3-0. Foul back, so Boehringer has come back to make it a full count. View from the office complex at the gutty little outfielder at the plate from Fort Rucker, Alabama. Here goes Pudge. Ball 4, so he's at second anyway. And now 2 on for Juan Gonzalez. There it is. Junior, Reggie, and Juan Gonzalez. 5 in 1 single series. Well, the Yankees have had a bird's eye view of all 3 of the series. 2 of them bad for them.
Well, the players in the American League and the baseball world in general know what a great player Juan Gonzalez is. Now the world is beginning to understand what kind of an impact player that he is.
Signed here yesterday, Senor Octubre, or if that's pronounced correctly.
That is. Reggie Jackson said, wait a minute on that. I'm Mr. October.
So there was another one in Spanish all the way. This is just Senor October. That's going to be a hybrid. That's a Tex-Mex sign there.
Joe Torre has come out of the bullpen. Brian Boehringer was all set to deliver a pitch to Juan Gonzalez, and Torre said, you know what? Last time Boehringer threw a pitch to Gonzalez, it was a tater. There's David Weathers. Here's ready.
That looks like Weathers is coming in. Gonzalez has hit in all sorts of weathers against the Yankees. Can he deliver again with 2 on in a 1-run game?
Top of the 5th in Cleveland after 3 inept defensive plays. Charles Nagy in a fix. 2 on, but he gets Rafael Palmeiro to strike out. Same situation that he faced in the 3rd, and it ends the same way. Strikes out Bonilla looking as well. It's still a 2-2 game.
That guy looks like a gutty performance by the Fairfield, Connecticut pride, Charlie Nagy. He started the All-Star game in the American League. David Weathers is going to try and do something that no Yankee pitcher has done thus far, Buck, and that's solve Juan Gonzalez. Weathers pitched a scoreless 8th and 9th in game number 1 in the 6-2 defeat to John Perkin. In game number 1. Rodriguez at second, Rusty Greer at first. Boehringer tried one pitch to Gonzalez. That didn't work. And now perhaps a chance of history in the making. 5 home runs in 3.5 games. Blowing away.
Just trying to get Gonzalez to chase something off the plate.
I mean, it's 1st and 2nd. I mean, you got to eventually come in, don't you?
Not necessarily. If you walk him, you know where he's going to end up. Boy, a breaking ball right on the corner.
Now let me advance to the next record that Gonzalez is approaching. The record for most home runs in a single postseason. That means all the games, an AL or an NLCS and a World Series. That record is 6. So he could tie that in one brief series. Fastball up top, 2-1. If you're wondering, it's Bob Robertson in 1971 for the Pirates. Boy, he killed the Giants. Lenny Dykstra in 93 against the Braves, and then on into the World Series against the Blue Jays, and then Junior Griffey last year at 5 against the Yankees, 1 against the Indians. So that's the next list that we're approaching.
Nothing too close. Girardi called for an inside fastball on the previous pitch. Weathers missed up and in. They got Will Clark, a left-hander, on deck.
On the count. Gonzalez will back out. 4-3. Texas leads here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, including Gonzalez's solo home run. But the Yankees with 3 in the top of the 4th. Singles by Fielder, Duncan, and a fielder's choice by Jeter. And here we are.
A 3-1 slider out of the strike zone. They're just not going to give in to Gonzalez. And why would you?
That's the entire season, regular and postseason.
Better tear up that scouting report.
You see, when Torre and Zimmer got here after that long game on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, they're having breakfast nearby here in Arlington. Gonzalez is eating breakfast in the same place. He said, Joe said, at least he could have picked up our check. No, they get him. Weathers gets him to wave at a pitch that looked to be outside the strike zone, and a big strikeout by Weathers.
Oh, a huge strikeout, and they never threw him a strike. Threw him breaking balls out of the strike zone away, and Gonzalez chased the bad pitch. Look at Weathers drop that slider down and away, and they didn't throw him one strike in this at bat, and Weathers comes up with a huge strikeout.
So the hot hand of Juan Gonzalez sits. The cold hand of Will Clark, 2 for 13 in the series, steps up with 2 aboard. Ball 1 high and outside to Will. The famous eye black, been wearing for years. Outside, ball 2. Saw his college buddy Palmero go deep today in that game at Cleveland, Mississippi State. 2nd overall pick back in 1985. Bobby Wood was 3rd.
Well, there was a lot of controversy when Will Clark signed here in Texas, because to sign Will Clark, they had to let Rafael Palmero go as a free agent. Clark just 2 hits in this series, and he's got the count in his favor.
Little flare. Jeter, a long run. Raines is over. Neither will get it. Oh, my goodness. A fan does and takes the flop. And is Jeter hurt?
Oh, that's
no.
awful. A fan comes tumbling out of the stands and runs in. Derek Jeter runs into him. This guy reaching for the ball fell out of the stands, and Derek Jeter ran right into him. That's the last thing you're worried about down there in the corner, is having to contend with a fan. Let's just hope he's all right for the sake of this whole series. Don't want to see any player, either side, get hurt. Watch this now. The fan leans over. Jeter's trying to put the brakes on, and here comes the fan.
Oh, man. Booted by the shoe.
This guy tumbles out of the seats. Raines goes up against the wall, and Jeter gets knocked down. That's awful. Boy, they're lucky Derek Jeter didn't suffer an injury that knocked him out of this game.
Troy went down to ask the ump, correctly so. Did my guys have a shot at that? Was there fan interference? And you saw in the replay, no, they did not. So the ump's on top of it, but Joe correct in asking for the call down the line. 2-1 pitch to Will Clark, ground ball to short. Jeter, Duncan, Martinez. Yeah, Derek Jeter is fine, all right. And a rally, potential rally, goes by the boards. Gonzalez strikes out Clark into a double play. 4-3 Texas after 4.
Bottom of the 5th, David Wells facing Omar Vizquel. Batting second today and still coming through, and it's the Killer Bees again. Batting over 400 against Baltimore. Vizcaíno scores. 3-2 lead. Baltimore coming to bat in the top of the 6th. Chris?
All right, Gary, thank you, boy. Ever since that Albert Bell grand slam, the Indians feeling they can come back and win this thing. And the Rangers are hoping to hold on to this lead, and now they've gone to a man that made the All-Star team as a starter, but really down the stretch was horrible. Roger Pavlik, after a great start, was a 15-game winner. With ERA ballooned, and he's out of the starting rotation and into the game now.
Well, in 6 starts in September, Pavlik had an ERA of 9.43. Johnny Oates needs about 3 innings at least from Roger Pavlik. He doesn't have much left down there as far as middle guys, and Pavlik, a former starter, has to stretch it out and try to protect this 1-run lead.
Bernie Williams, who led off the 3-run 4th inning, now leads off the 5th. Bernie singled and stole a base, advanced to 3rd on a wild pitch. Scored the first Yankee run of the inning on a single by Cecil Fielder. Palmer in on the edge of the grass in case Bernie drops one down. Pavlik pitching on the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. They're 2 hours older as we creep into the 5th inning. This game moving like a glacier. If that's possible in Texas. Out of play.
You know, this is a problem for the Texas Rangers, this bullpen, and they had it solved fairly well when they picked up John Burkett That enabled them to move Kevin Gross down into the bullpen. He pitched very effectively. But now Gross is on a DL with back problems, and they're really kind of thin down there. But Kevin Gross was very effective in this role, and they sorely miss him here today.
Up high and tight. 2-2. Texas Rangers trying to make their first postseason appearance memorable. The Yankees, although last year's appearance, first in a long while, postseason appearance number 36. Of course, the Yankees had the 35-1 advantage over Seattle last year, and that didn't work. Tino Martinez was one of the reasons why it did not, as he stands on deck. Cleveland wins the other series, the ALCS begins there on Tuesday night. If Baltimore wins the other series, the winner here between the Yankees and Texas will have the home field advantage in Game 1 at home on Tuesday night. Hit to right center field. Back it goes. Back. Gone. We're tied. Bernie Williams, his second home run here in 2 days, and the Yankees have forged back from a 4-0 deficit.
Well, we talked about the Yankees having confidence that they can come back against anyone. They've got a lot of veterans, a lot of confidence that they've got a balanced attack. And watch the finish on this swing by Bernie Williams. The ball was away from him. He really extends, and it goes over the bullpen into the seats in right center.
That'll bring up Tino Martinez. This gutty Yankee team, I mean, you just can't step on them. They just refuse to give an inch. Bernie Williams now in the 2 postseason series last year and this year, 15 of 34, so that's almost 500 with 4 homers now and 9 RBIs. He's the best player in baseball that nobody has any clue about. I mean, they do in New York, obviously, but you know, he's about the 9th Yankee that you mention when you run down the lineup, but not necessarily for opponents. Ripped. Clark off his glove. Shovels to Pavlik. And Martinez is retired.
Well, Clark knew he had a little bit of time there once he knocked it down with Tino Martinez running from home plate. So he gathered himself, picked up the ball, and flipped to Pavlik for the first out. Chris, you talk about Bernie Williams, and as Cecil Fielder walks to the plate, Bernie just seems to understand more about his role on this team as a power hitter and a good defensive outfielder. Each year, he gets a little bit better and gains a little more confidence.
Here's Cecil Fielder against Pavlik, and a fastball is in there in the outside corner. Cecil thought it was high. Bernie, and no disrespect meant to him, Buck, at all, is still really learning the game.
Oh, he sure is.
I mean, he's a long way away from, and he would be the first to tell you, from having the complete picture. It's just exciting to think of how far he can go with his tools, his hustle, his attitude. Fielder in the hole at 0-2. Cecil 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 4th. Now the fans, at least undaunted, on their feet every time there's a 2-strike count. The old 59-footer for a ball. Cecil, more home runs and RBIs in the 90s than anyone else in the major. Well, you know, he had the 51 home run season, but you figure there are other guys. But in the 90s, he leads in both categories. That is now 2-2 to the big fella.
Johnny Oates' walk-off jumped out to a 4-run lead, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and he has seen that lead evaporate here. Joe Torres' club just keeps pounding back at you, coming at you.
Texas has led in all 4 games of this series. It may have nothing to show for it except John Burkett's complete game win in game 1. Gets under this one. Rusty Greer coming on. Anytime Cecil takes a big rip, your first step is back to the wall, but he got under that one, and the ball hung up there for Rusty, and now there's 2 outs following Bernie Williams' home run.
Cecil Fielder takes a hack at this breaking ball. It's that splitter that kind of hung up there. He hit it on the end of the bat and just kind of got underneath it. Slide to left.
Paul O'Neill holds off on a pitch up high for a ball. O'Neill is 1 for 2, singled in the second. Flew out to center field in the 4th. Hit hard to right field. Coming on is Gonzalez in the shadows, and he makes the catch. O'Neill was on it, but Gonzalez was there. And Bernie Williams' home run has tied this thing up. We head to the bottom of the 5th in the ballpark at Arlington. It's a brand new ball game. Back at the bottom of the 5th inning, Chris Berman along with Buck Martinez. If you tuned in late, spend another 2.5 hours with us and watch the next 4 or 5 innings. 4-0 Texas lead has evaporated. 4-4 game. Dean Palmer doubled and scored in the second, reached on an error and scored in the 3rd. Palmer, Tettleton, and McLemore. There's a fastball by David Weathers.
One thing we should point out is the great job David Weathers did last inning. He came into the ball game with runners at first and second, nobody out, and all he did was strike out Juan Gonzalez and get Will Clark to hit into a double play. That's as good as it gets. The Rangers threatening to get something going back in the 4th inning. Brought in Weathers, and David didn't throw a strike to Juan Gonzalez and struck him out.
Fastball misses up top and outside. Count is 2-2.
David Weathers was picked up in a deal late in the season in a trade for Mark Hutton with the Florida Marlins. And then came up and made a couple of starts and didn't pitch well at all. Went back to Columbus, and he came back and threw a little better in September and has had a couple of very important appearances in this series.
The Mick on deck. I shouldn't say the Mick. We are broadcasting to New York at the Yankee game. That was my fault. Mickey Tettleton on deck. Little flare to right field. O'Neill is there, and there's 1 out. Now they'll bring up Tettleton. You know, to being hitless in this postseason, Tettleton singled and walked in his 2 times up. Bottom of the order, big reason why the Rangers jumped out to that 4-0 lead. Yes, we know Rodriguez hit the solo home run, but Palmer with a hit in the 6th spot. Tettleton 1 for 1 in the 7th spot. McLemore 1 for 2 in the 8th spot. Elster 1 for 2 in the 9th spot. With the headlines, Gonzalez's home run and Pudge Rodriguez 3 for 3. You really feel that, I mean, the Mariners shook it off last year, but you know, the Rangers have squandered leads in all the games. Is that much to think about your first time in the postseason? You went through it with the young Royals in '76, Buck, against the Yankees.
Yeah, it is tough to win the first time you go to the postseason. You really don't know how you're going to react when you think, oh, man, we got a game here, and then you let one get away, and then you go back and reflect on that and say, did we blow our chance to advance? Johnny Oates has been in a totally different frame of mind all year long with his Texas team, much more relaxed, much more confident. But for the players out on the field, it's a totally different situation. You get so close for the first time, and it is tough to relax. This is the 4th game of this series. You guys have had plenty of at-bats to try to calm down the jitters.
Even in the middle of September, when they started going to the losing streak, nobody here in Texas believed in this squad. They'd never played in postseason before. Of course, Juan Gonzalez, I would hardly say that he has a stage fright here in his first postseason week. Tettleton will sit down. Good pitch by Weathers as they fire it around the horn. Let's fire it around the horn to Gary.
Chris, back in Cleveland, top of the sixth, Charles Nagy has really settled down after those back-to-back homers. He gets Pete Incaviglia. He is going exclusively to his fourth ball, busting it off on Hoyles as well, the same as he did to them in the fourth. He's got 12 strikeouts and a 3-2 lead.
All right, Gary, and of course we'll keep you updated on that game all afternoon. The other games coming up. The Braves and Dodgers and Fox at 4 and NBC at 7:30 with the Cards and Pods all Eastern time. Here's Mark McLemore, one of 3 Rangers to celebrate a birthday yesterday. Mac turned 32 yesterday. Roger Pavlik, who's now in the game, turned 29, and Dennis Cook, who pitched before him, was now 34. And with all that going for him, the Rangers blew the game in the 9th inning last night. But Lou Piniella wasn't the manager of the Rangers. That birthday cake would have been plastered in the clubhouse.
It was a disappointing loss, to be sure. Allow the Yankees to come back with a couple of runs in the top of the 9th.
Fastball misses to McLemore, 2-1. And again, if you're looking for college football, ABC has it at 3:30. Penn State at a big game here in early October in Columbus. All sorts of things to do if you want to watch the set. With the remote control working. Baseball, football, we had pucks last night. The NHL underway. Whalers open up tonight against the Phoenix Coyotes. We'll be following that score. Throw it out the window when the Whale and the Coyotes get together. 3-1 pitch to McLemore. Ground ball. Mariano Duncan over to Tino Martinez in a 1-2-3 inning for David Weathers, who has come on to face 5 batters and has retired all of them. So we played 5 here in the ballpark in Arlington. Yankees, Rangers. 4s are wild. Top of the 6th inning, ball 1 from Roger Pavlik to Mariano Duncan. Duncan drove in the second Yankee run in the 4th inning with a base hit. Mariano now with 3 RBI in the series. He's 1 for 2 with a strikeout in the second, and there's his strike. Roger Pavlik, pitcher number 4 for Texas. The Yankees have used 3. And we should note that Andy Pettit has gone down to the bullpen, not to throw yet. But tomorrow's starters would be David Cohen against John Burkett. Well, Pettit would not go until Tuesday at best case scenario for the Yankees. So this being Saturday, he could be available to throw in this game, and we might very well see him, Buck.
Yeah, Joe Torre sent him down there in the middle of last inning, and he is down there available. Torre need a left-hander.
Dropped out on that one, and Duncan will sit down. Strike 1. Joe Girardi coming up now. This gets hairy, all right? But if all the series are going tomorrow, here's the situation. If Nomo wins today, the Dodgers play the Braves tomorrow. Game 4, 1 o'clock ESPN. If this series goes on, 4 o'clock tomorrow on ESPN. But that assumes that the Orioles-Indians goes on. That'll be a night game at 7:30 on Fox. And then a real night game, the Cards-Padres, if that goes on to Game 4 at 11 Eastern time. Well, the band got so fired up on that, it finally got a chance to play. But now, once these series start ending, and it would take us 15 minutes to explain it. But
you
basically,
tell me where we're going.
Tell you what, we have plane tickets to Atlanta. You and I have hotel reservations tonight in Texas. I guess we could go to San Diego. There's a ground ball to Dean Palmer. Throw is low, but Clark digs it out, and Girardi is gone. I don't think we're going to see it. We could be going to NFL primetime. We could be here. Just stay tuned, as both ESPN and Fox and NBC will keep you posted today and tonight about where to find the game. We can tell you this much. It's a tie game here in the top of the 6th. After the Rangers blew a 4-0 lead, and Derek Jeter comes up with 2 outs and none on. Chris Berman along with Buck Martinez. So proud to be part of this opening round of the baseball playoffs, and we hope that you've enjoyed our coverage as well as those of our friends elsewhere. Baseball tonight, early, late, and in between. The labor of love for those ladies and gentlemen. Rangers up top to Jeter. It's 1-0. Derek 0 for 2 in this game. A scary moment when that fan came out of the stands and booted him inadvertently in the chest. Then the next play, double play ball started by Jeter. The kid flappable. Hit hard to center field. Darrell Hamilton is going back. Makes the catch over his shoulder in a 1-2-3 inning for Roger Pavlik. We move to the bottom of the 6th inning at Arlington. Tie game. Arlington, bottom of the 6th inning, 9-1-2 for the Texas Rangers. Have squandered a 4-0 lead, but still find themselves in position to jump on the Yankees and even the series at 2 games apiece. A crowd of 50,066, the 3rd largest ever in the 3-year history of the ballpark. To watch a game here, hoping that there'll be a game here tomorrow in the afternoon or in the evening, depending on the Baltimore-Cleveland series. Let's just say tomorrow. Kevin Elster is 1 for 2 with a single in the 2nd inning. Three for 11 in the series is Elster, who was almost not exiled, but hurt and out of baseball for several years. Weathers is the best weather that he has forecast all year. He came in early on after that trade, Buck, with the Marlins, and gave up a couple of shots, and the New York fans got on him. But he has certainly delivered today. 5 for 5, retiring the batters he's faced, including inducing Will Clark to hit into a double play and striking out Juan Gonzalez, who has hit about 8,000 home runs in this series thus far.
Well, Chris, you know better than anybody how tough the Yankee fans can be. They expect you to do. So there was a trade made. David Weathers came and made 2 starts. His first start against Kansas City lasted just an inning and 2/3. Second start against the White Sox, 2 2/3. And in those 2 starts, he gave up 9 hits. 9 hits and 7 earned runs. So they were tough on him.
Now Graham Lloyd, another one that's heard the boos. Andy Pettitte hadn't heard much, though, nor should he. Maybe the winner of the American League could win the Cy Young. Very possibly. But, you know, we saw the New York fans turn around with Tino Martinez. They're booing him for the 3 weeks, and we did that game with the home run against Cleveland. All of a sudden, we love you, Tino! And they've been with him ever since. That was late April at the long home run, a couple of curtain calls. Did the same with Girardi. Took a long time for them to warm to Joe. We realized that, okay, he's not going to hit home runs like Mike Stanley. He's going to steal some bases, going to call a good game behind the plate, going to be gritty. And he's going to be on our team that's going to go to the postseason. So, came around. If you deliver, they're with you. There's no question about that. It's just, why don't you do it right now is the deal in New York. As Elster fouls it off, and that gets all the way to the upper deck. Good to say Kevin made a big role in a movie, Little Big League. I had a big role in that one.
You did. What was your role?
Kevin it's a role that I think I have down. I got to play myself. Ripped over a leaping Duncan for a base hit. So the Texas Rangers, the silence since Rodriguez singled in the 4th inning, lead off with a base hit by Elster here in the 6th, and that gets the crowd going again. Now the Rangers have had a leadoff double by Palmer in the 2nd. Leadoff home run by Gonzalez in the 3rd. A leadoff single by Rodriguez in the 4th, and now a leadoff single by Elster in the 6th.
Well, the bottom of the lineup has done a good job. He was trying to get that ball down and away, and you see how the ball... A sinking fastball that rode up in the strike zone, and Elster has his 2nd hit of the day. He rips it into right field.
Now the game is picked up again here, Buggy. It was like a 2 or 3 inning black hole, although not for Yankee fans. And Hamilton lays down the bunt. Weathers to Duncan covering. Elster to second base with 1 out. And that'll bring up Pudge Rodriguez, who is 3 for 3 today. 3 sharp singles. 6 for 15 in the series now for Pudge. Now, he won't win the MVP, I don't think, but although the Texas players say Rusty Greer is their MVP and 47 home runs say that Juan Gonzalez could be MVP, they lead baseball in defense And I think it all starts with Pudge Rodriguez. I might be inclined to vote for him.
Now, when you can have a catcher that has 639 at-bats in the regular season, that tells you that he is tough, durable, and his offense didn't lose a beat.
47 doubles for Pudge Rodriguez, breaking the old mark for catchers by 5. The old mark of 42 by Terry Kennedy, Brian Harper, and a pretty good catcher named Mickey Cochran. And there's the game on ESPN2. 3-2 Indians, top of the 7th. So the Indians trying to tie that up. This is the only series, Buck, in the first 2 years of this divisional playoffs that it was 1-1. Every other series of the 8 has been 2-0. Somebody. Outside and away to Rodriguez, 2-0. Greer on deck, Juan Gonzalez in the hole. Foul back. Does Girardi have room? By the screen, makes the play, and Rodriguez is out for the first time today.
Weathers took something off of that pitch. Looked like a slider that had Rodriguez out on his front foot. He got underneath it. And again, David Weathers makes a tough pitch. Some breaking ball. You see how he's out in front. He got fooled by the velocity. He goes straight up. Girardi flips his mask away and makes an easy play just short of that backstop.
Mel Stottlemyre out to the mound, and I'm sure Weathers is cognizant of the fact that, yeah, geez, maybe we'll put Greer on and pitch carefully to him. Yeah, I don't think so with Gonzalez on deck.
Well, Chris, you see, he's talking to Joe Girardi right now. He said, listen, we got a runner at second base, we got a base open, but discount that. Rusty Greer's the guy you need to get out here in this situation. So let's make sure we have a game plan, how you want to work the Greer. Joe Torre is sick and tired of watching Juan Gonzalez pound on his pitching staff, so he sent Mel Stottlemyre out there. Tell David Weathers, let's finish off this situation right here and leave Gonzalez in the on-deck circle.
Remember, 3 times last night, they retired Greer for the 3rd out of an inning, as they would have a chance to do here, and Gonzalez came up to lead off an inning with the bases clear, as they did here in the 2nd inning, and then Gonzalez's home run was only a solo shot in the 3rd.
You see Rusty Greer, 321 with runners in scoring position. David Weathers has a good slider, and I throw that slider on the inner half of the plate and break it down and in off the plate. Greer is very good driving the ball toward left center, anything away. Boy, got a good pitch there, that fastball. Weathers has good sinking action on his fastball, but he's throwing a pretty effective slider here today. I think he can throw that off the plate inside to Greer. Going away again. Greer had a good cut at it and fouled it off. Rusty Greer has yet to get a key hit in this series. One thing we got to mention, Greer drove in 100. Girardi suggested 4 pitches now, and Weathers doesn't like any of them. Joe said, wait a minute, you don't have that many pitches. Let's talk about this, David. You don't want to make any mistakes now, and you want to make sure that the pitcher is totally confident in the pitch that he's about to throw. Worst thing you can have is a pitcher winding up thinking, I don't know if this is the right pitch.
Inside fastball, 1-2.
See, now it's here where I would come with the slider. You throw a courtesy fastball inside just to straighten up Greer, and that's trying to set up an outside pitch. But I'd cross up Greer, come inside with either a fastball or a slider.
Gets him on the inside. They get Cable down there? Once again, Greer is retired for the 3rd out of an inning, and so Gonzalez will have to lead off. Heading to the 7th, tied at 4. There are a few brave souls who have stood up in the Yankees' 7th inning stretch here in the ballpark in Arlington. 4-4 game. Yankees win it. They move on to the ALCS. If the Rangers win it, move on to Game 5 tomorrow. Top of the order, Raines, Boggs, and Bernie Williams, whose home run in the 5th inning tied this at 4-4. The Rangers blew a 4-0 lead as the Yankees got 3 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. Timmy 0 for 2, and then he walked his last time up in the 4th inning. Kenny Rogers was gone after 2 for Joe Torre, and look at this, and this means a lot. Not only the fact that they've outscored him 280 to 199. I'll put that up again here. Just let that sink in, because it means about a half a run a game. We're just adding up the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. It's about a half a run a game more. It's not so much that the Yankees score that much, although 280 in the last 3 innings is a lot. They hold the opposition almost always at bay. And that's why these 1- and 2-run games, they went, oh, and excuse me, check swinger, and Raines is on, and this could be a double. Oh, he holds up halfway as Greer comes up with it. But, you know, you shorten this game, Buck, and the Yankees definitely have an advantage. Game 2, a run in the 7th and a run in the 8th, not to mention a run in the 12th. Game 3, 2 runs in the 9th. And that's just been the way they've played all year.
Well, they got things going their way right now. An excuse-me base hit for Tim Raines. He checked his swing and serves it into shallow left field. Kevin Elster tries to track it down. Rusty Greer comes up with it, but they hold Raines at first base.
So Wade Boggs has been quiet, 0 for 3, and has had a quiet series. Wade is 1 for 11 thus far in the series, and you know that's just a ticking bomb here with him.
I think they're going to ask him to bunt in this situation.
Yeah, remember, Charlie Hayes came in, laid down a bunt that extra inning game in Game 2. Boggsy does a good job of bunting. Palmer to first. Boggs is gone. Raines on to second base. So each team executing the sacrifice, but the Rangers didn't get anything from it.
Chris, it's very significant when you think of Wade Boggs bunting, going back to the numbers you mentioned about the way the Yankees can shut down the opponent's 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. You get 1 run and you figure you're going to win it with Rivera and Wetland out in that bullpen. So that's what Joe Torre was thinking by having Wade Boggs put down the sacrifice.
Of course, Rivera did not go yesterday, so he's ready to roll. Wetland did pitch tonight and got the save. So here's Bernie Williams, who is home run, tied the game in the 5th. He's 2 for 3, singled and scored in the 4th, homered in the 5th. In this series, he's hitting close to 500, and that's about where he is in the combined series last year and this year against the Mariners and now against the Rangers. And as we mentioned, Mariano Rivera, there's a stoppage now to move a camera in center field. That's not ours. Quickly to, well, any thoughts that we would be messing with a fast-moving game by having a camera out in center field. It's moved, and they're ready. So they look out to that grass beyond the center field. So the batters try to pick up the pitch. Did he go? No, says third base umpire Drew Coble. And it's ball 1 to Bernie Williams. Jeff Russell and Ed Vosberg are throwing now in the pen. We started to say Mariano Rivera. He's now throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Ready, willing, and certainly able. Whether they get the lead or not. Good pitch. Took something off it, and Bernie waved at it.
That's that splitter that he throws so effectively. Dick Bosman, the Rangers pitching coach, is on the phone down to the bullpen. Take a look at the movement on this pitch. That forkball sinking down and away from Bernie Williams, and he is way out in front of it. There you see Jeff Russell, the right-hander, Ed Vosberg, the left-hander. Everybody's available today.
Good play by Pudge on the ball in the dirt. Count is 2-1 now to Bernie Williams. Tino Martinez on deck. Cecil in the hole. 4-4, top of the 7th. Off the end of the bat to Elster, but can't make the play in time to double up Timmy Raines. So now there's 2 outs.
Your first reaction on line drive is to make sure you freeze and check out where it's going. Head back toward the base, and that was just a little humpback liner right to Kevin Elster.
So with 2 outs on the go-ahead run at second base, Tino Martinez is up 0 for 2 in a walk. He walked and scored in the 4th inning. 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 3rd for the Texas Rangers. The Yankees 3 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. Dick Bosman goes out to talk with Roger Pavlik. Hey, you know what? It's going to be a very strange Sunday for yours truly tomorrow morning, as I'll leave my gang in the studio. Hey, guys, have a good show. I may be like Wally Pipp after Mike Tirico hosts for me tomorrow. I may never get back. Tommy and Joe and Sterling and Mort, Mike Tirico, 90 minutes. That's pregame show on the business. I can say it because I'm not doing it tomorrow. NFL Countdown and then NFL Prime Time. A shortened version, 7:30. Is that right? Soon because of the baseball. You know, with so much worrying about the baseball. Usually he's on at 7. It'll be on right after Major League Baseball tomorrow. Week 6 of the National Football League. The Colts, can they stand defeated against the Buffalo Bills? Packers and Bears. Everything coming your way tomorrow morning, 11:30 a.m. Going into baseball, we hope. Have a good show, guys. It'll be weird to watch them on TV. My goodness.
They've got a base open in this situation, so Johnny Oates sent his pitching coach out to remind Pavlik, listen, you don't have to give in to Tino Martinez with range at second. Catches the corner with it. Cecil Fielder is the on-deck hitter. Pavlik has already retired him once today. And Fielder just 2 for 23 for his career against Pavlik. No need to come into Tino Martinez at all.
Fouled away. Now the crowd will get up on its feet. And they want to stay there with 7th inning stretch coming. Now they're into it. Kind of low here as the Rangers blew that 4-0 lead. But ladies and gentlemen, they are back. First and goal at the 3 for the Rangers. Outside, ball 2, 2-2 with 2 out.
Pavlik wants a new ball. What you want to make sure you do now, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss off the plate. You want to err on the side of safety because you've got a base open and you've got a right-handed hitter on deck and Cecil Fielder. Pavlik's got that very good split finger pitch so that he can go down and away from Tino Martinez and try to get him to go after it.
Count will be full.
Got underneath that splitter and kind of pushed it. Here's where you don't even think about ball 4. You think about throwing another good split finger pitch, but finish it up out in front. That way you get the good movement on it.
Let's try another one. the runner at second base. The potential go-ahead run for the Yankees. Full count on Tino Martinez. Ground ball. Clark off his glove. Raines holds at third. Runners at the corners for New York with Cecil Fielder coming up.
Well, what an at-bat for Tino Martinez. And what a play by Will Clark. He saved a run by knocking that ball down and keeping it on the infield. Watch the effort by Clark. Goes to his right, dives, knocks it down, and then looks across the diamond to see where Raines is. He keeps Raines at third base, but he saved a run for sure by keeping that ball on the infield.
The Yankees got Cecil Fielder to drive in runs. He hadn't done much in his career against Roger Pavlik, but he's driven in a run today with a single in the fourth. A little base hit will put the Yankees ahead for the first time this afternoon. Fastball, strike one.
Now that's what you do to Cecil Fielder. If you're going to throw him fastballs, they got to be up, and they got to be in. That ball was by him. Cecil became a very good breaking ball hitter when he went to Japan because they wouldn't give in to him. He can hit balls 6 inches outside.
Inside, ball one. 1-1. Timmy Raines at third base. Tino Martinez at first base. 2 out, tie game, top 7. Gary will keep us posted in Baltimore, Cleveland. Last report, Tribe leading it 3-2. 7th inning score in Cleveland. Down low, smothered by Rodriguez. 2-1 to Cecil.
Remember earlier in the game when Rodriguez had a ball get through his legs, he didn't go down and block it. He tried to catch it. And obviously now with that go-ahead run just 90 feet away, everything in the dirt, he's going to smother.
Is he the best defensive catcher you've seen in a long time?
Yes. There's another guy that played here several years ago when I played named Jim Sundberg, who was awfully good too.
Throughout the first pitch today, did Sundberg, longtime Ranger.
Rodriguez is in a class by himself in my mind. He's quick. He's got a great arm.
Strike 2, and that'll get everybody up.
Yeah, you get the feeling this is kind of an important part of the ball game, don't you?
Ground ball, pierced the diving Palmer. Raines scores, and the Yankees have their first lead of the afternoon. Cecil Fielder delivers. As he did for the tying run in game number 2 in New York, he drives in the go-ahead run here in game number 4 in Texas.
Now that's what they picked him up for, his drive-in runs. Roger Pavlik threw a 2-2 fastball, but I don't think he got it up enough. This ball is away. You can see how Fielder reached for it and hits a bullet by Dean Palmer.
So Fielder gives the Yankees a lead. You look at the bench and you know what their reaction is. Pavlik is gone. Ed Vosberg is in. New York has the lead. We'll be back. The Yankees have taken the lead here 5-4, and Ed Vosberg has come on in relief of Roger Pavlik, the 5th Texas pitcher. And with he being the lefty, you look at his numbers. Joe Torre counters with the right-handed batter, Charlie Hayes, to bat for Paul O'Neill.
Now Ed Vosberg is making his first appearance in this postseason. And we mentioned O'Neill having trouble with that hamstring, and Charlie Hayes gets the call here as the pinch hitter, trying to add to that 1-run lead. Charlie Hayes was 2 for 4 as a pinch hitter with a couple of ribbies during the regular season.
Bossberg starts him off with ball 1. Tino Martinez now at second, and Cecil Fielder, the big fella, at first base. Known for home runs, but his 2 singles in this series will be the one that Yankee fans will remember. Ground ball in the hole. Elster prevents a run. Base hit by Charlie Hayes, but Elster kept it at a 5-4 game.
There are a couple of plays during this inning where the infielders have kept the ball on the infield. Charlie Hayes gets an infield base hit. Tino Martinez sees Elster come up with the play, knows he's going to stop at third base, but Johnny Oates has to go to the pen again.
Tell you what, Buck, you know what we haven't done for a while? Let's change pitchers. Another call to the bullpen. Jeff Russell's on. Russell, who's been an all-star as a starter and a reliever, is on to face Mariano Duncan with the bases loaded with 1 run in. 5-4 Yankee lead. Andy Fox has gone in as strike 1 is dropped in by Russell. Andy Fox is pinch running for Cecil Fielder. Is he faster than Cecil?
Yeah, a little bit. Big Daddy did his job, though.
He sure did.
He's driven in 2 here today.
And 4 for the series. Tino Martinez at third. Andy Fox at second. Charlie Hayes at first.
Mariano Duncan, 1 for 3 today. For the season, he actually hit better against right-handed pitchers than he did left-handed pitchers. That's because he likes the ball away. He's a very good fastball hitter. Russell has thrown him 2 curveballs.
Hit to center field. Hamilton goes back into the shadows, makes the catch. So Russell strands the bases, but the Yankees take the lead. 7th inning stretch time here in Texas, and who better to tie it than the first man up, Juan Gonzalez.
For years I dreamed.
David Weathers is gone. Gave up 1 hit in 3 innings, would stand to get the win. It's Rivera time for the Yankees. And who's been better for this club than Mariano Rivera, who comes on now in relief to try and set the table for John Wetland.
Well, this is the formula that has worked so very effectively for Joe Torre all the year long. You go to Rivera with a lead in the 7th. He pitches 2. Then you close out with John Wetland. And they have gotten themselves in a position to do that. That is the right fielder. That's Mariano Rivera's cousin, Ruben Rivera. He comes on defensively, taking over after Charlie Hayes pinch hit for Paul O'Neill.
We got every Rivera but Bombo Rivera and Buick Rivera in the game for the Yankees. Well, speaking of Bombo, here's a guy that has hit 5 in the series, and of course in inning number 3 clobbered Brian Boehringer's first pitch. He's homered in all 4 games of this series to tie a major league record. He's homered 5 in this series to tie a major league record. Juan Gonzalez, 47 in the regular season. You add these 5, 52 home runs. Boy, this is heat and heat. Fastball in there taken for strike 1.
Well, Juan Gonzalez, you see what he has done in this series, 467, and he's actually hit well against Mariano Rivera, one of the few guys in baseball.
Ground ball to Harper to Jeter. On to Tino Martinez, and Gonzalez is gone. That may be the last time the Yankees, well, they hope so, if they go around the order. The chances are, any guy gets on, Gonzalez will have one last crack at it. Will Clark, he has struggled today. 0 for 3, hit into a double play in the 4th inning with a couple on. Rivera fires one past him for strike 1. Wow. Strike 2.
Well, we all know that Rivera throws hard, but it's his smooth delivery that really gets you. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball out of a very smooth delivery. Another one right on the corner. You know, there are power pitchers, guys like Troy Percival, just kind of blow you away, but Rivera does it with pretty good command of his pitches as well. He throws 2 different fastballs, and he's got a pretty good slider.
There are some that feel, even though he is a middle reliever, I don't quite think you can do this, but there's some that feel that he should get consideration, and strong consideration, for MVP. Do you?
Yeah, I think he should get some consideration.
Clark, a little flare. Duncan out, calls for it. It holds up for him, and he makes the play, and there's 2 outs.
You ask all the Yankees about MVP, and his name is one of the first ones that come up. I mean, he was so good. Actually, at one point in the season in middle relief, he threw a no-hitter. I mean, for 9 consecutive innings, he went out no-hit the opposition coming in the middle.
Dean Palmer doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. Seems like a long time ago. Got on an error and scored in the 3rd. Flew out to right. Fouls this one back. 1-1.
Everybody talks about where Rivera will eventually end up. You want to make him a starter. You want to use him as a closer. The Yankees have done a good job of making sure that they protect his arm. They really haven't overpitched him. The tendency, and naturally during that stretch where the Yankees are really struggling, would have been to run him out there all the time. But Joe Torre was very, very careful with the way they used Mariano Rivera.
Blows that one past Palmer. It's 2-2.
You've just got to make him get the ball down. You flat out can't hit that fastball up around the letters.
And you're right. He's so smooth that you don't.
Oh, the ball jumps out of his hand. When you see a guy like Gossage with that big high leg kick, you get ready for it. Gossage was laboring to turn that ball loose, and he threw as hard as Rivera, but it was different in that Rivera almost kind of lulls you to sleep, and then boom, the ball's on you.
Palmer staying in. Crowd quiet, and understandably so. They're in shock. The Rangers have led in all 4 games of this series, including 4-0 today. And they're down to potentially 7 outs. This one will be foul. Out of play.
Well, as an opposing player, this is the last thing you wanted to do, was fall behind the Yankees late in the ball game to give them a chance to get to Rivera and Wetland. Remember, the Texas Rangers had a 4-run lead against Joe Torre's Yankees, and the Yankees just kept pecking away, and finally, on Cecil Fielder's base hit, they've taken the lead.
You know what we're seeing here in this scene, and hey folks, there's a long way to go. It's a 1-run game, but baseball officially arrived here in Texas. You know, they've had some good teams, but many laughable ones. Almost 3 million division champs in football country. They're talking baseball. Really something to build on here as Palmer hits it to center field, and Bernie Williams is there. A 1-2-3-7 for Mariano Rivera. Yankees 6 outs away from moving on to the ALCS. We've played 7 here in Texas, 5-4 New York. Keeping us posted, everything going, and right back to action here in the 8th inning. Duncan, or rather Joe Girardi, leads it off. 8-9-1. Girardi, Jeter, Green. Wouldn't mind insurance, but with Rivera and Wetland, they'll take their chances. Strike 1 from Jeff Russell. The 6th Rangers pitcher in the afternoon. Mike Stanton is up throwing in the bullpen. And after that, the call is going to go for Jim Kern and Steve No-Fault Foucault. because it just about depleted everybody else down there.
Well, it's a day where you don't want to leave anybody out there. You just keep running them out there until you can get somebody that'll throw up a few zeros. There's Mike Stanton. Came over here on July 31st from the Red Sox.
Ooh, that one sliced back and got a fan. Just that screen doesn't go that wide behind the plate, and that one quieted everybody down. He got plunked immediately when he was going up for some attention. Great to be near the action, but sometimes even if you're paying attention, you don't have a chance to make a move in the stands. Hopefully he's all right. And now a paper bag is blown out. Hey, we set it up that the Yankees in the 7th inning have averaged another half, at 7th inning and beyond, have had a half a run a game more than their opponents. And thus far in this series, they've scored 6 from the 7th and beyond. That includes the extra innings, and the Rangers have scored none. And now you're wondering why the Yankees are about to have a chance to wrap it up. There's your biggest reason. Girardi will sit down. Russell gets him. And that'll bring up Derek Jeter. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any way, shape, or form without express written consent. Derek Jeter raised his average 47 points since July 1st. 17-game hitting streak that he had this season was the longest by a Yankee rookie since some guy named DiMaggio had an 18-game hitting streak in 1936.
I don't think there's ever been a group of young shortstops in the major leagues as talented as there are right now, with Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, Alex Gonzalez in Toronto, Ray Ordonez for the Mets. Royce Clayton, even though he's got a few more seasons than these young guys, is still a young guy and very good shortstop.
Grzelcyk, Montreal. Renteria, Florida. Garcia Parra, they're hoping for, and Baston. Ripped by Jeter, past his opposite, Kevin Elster. So Derek with his first base hit of the afternoon, and that means for Jeter he has gotten at least one hit in all 4 games. And can it be? I mean, did they really get Jim Kern and Foucault up in the bullpen? Remember his delivery? No fault Foucault. Here's Jeter's delivery. Now, Russell is gone. Mike Stanton is in. Timmy Raines is up. The wheels keep turning. It's just a 5-4 game. Top of the 8th. All right, Gary, thank you. Mike Stanton is on here at the top of the 8th inning. I think Dick Bosman may get up to throw pretty soon, along with Steve Comer. But why not? It's still a 1-run game, and just do anything you can to stay alive.
Well, Johnny Oates is not going to leave anybody down in that bullpen. He's got a matchup here. He wants a left-hander Stanton to come in and switch Tim Raines around again.
So Timmy Raines about from the right side of the plate. Reminder, those of you expecting to see golf, the Las Vegas Invitational, we're just a 3-wood away from that as we play here at the top of the 8th inning. Round 4 of that 5-round tournament where, boy, are they slicing up those courses or what? Getting scores there that some of us getting 9. Raines 1 for 3 and a walk, but his single to lead off the 7th inning was the big one, as he did last night with a huge base hit in the 2-run rally by the Yankees. The single to lead off the 7th eventually came around to score on Cecil's base hit. And that's where we stand. 4-0 Texas after 3. Yankees got 3 in the 4th. And 1 in the 5th, and a homer by Bernie Williams, and then Cecil Fielder's RBI single in the 7th with 2 outs. The reason the Yankees are just a couple innings away from perhaps moving on. Raines has never been to a World Series, but certainly like that opportunity here in the waning years of his career. Mike Stanton has been to several. He's a member of the Atlanta Braves, albeit he was not there last year when the Braves finally won it. Four, eighth inning. In there for a strike. Stanton's had plenty of postseason action, obviously, with the Braves in 91, 92, and 93. Not to mention the Red Sox last year. Actually pitched very well in the postseason. Look at his numbers. $11 and a third, whatever. It's hard for me to add these all up on the fly at this part of the afternoon, but he's given up a run in about 9 or 10 appearances.
I expect Derek Jeter to run here. The count is in the Yankees' favor. 2 balls and a strike. They've got a 1-run cushion. They can play hit and run here. Try to open up a hole on the infield. Joe Torre's team has outscored the Rangers 5-0 after the Rangers scored 2 runs in the third.
The thing about this situation here is Raines looks down to Willie Randolph for the signs. The Yankees, if they can hold on to win it here, Buck, go into the ALCS either at home if they win or at Cleveland, but with their pitching in order. To Cone and Pettit to start. Elster flips to McLemore, fires to Clark, and they've doubled up Timmy Raines. So Mike Stanton comes in to do another good job. And the Rangers have 6 outs with which to do something. Heading to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers trying to do anything to score a run in that series against Glavine. They didn't really work against Maddox and Smoltz. We sat and watched the first 2 games of that one, broadcast the first and watched the second one. And I mean, they'll just try and just sneak 1 run in. New second baseman for the Yankees, Luis Soho in the rain. One of our favorite nicknames from the Warren Zevon Werewolves of London tune. And of course, Soho, like Tito Martinez, a member of the Mariners team that beat the Yankees last year. So Soho in for Duncan. And Tettleton, McLemore, and Elster. Due up against Mariano Rivera. Wetland will get up to start the throw in the 9th. For the 9th. And the Rangers need 1 base hit. Without a double play to have Juan Gonzalez to have 1 more crack at it. Tettleton is 1 for 3, scored a run. Well, you think of the 36 years of this franchise, 11 in Washington, the old Senators. You know that Frank Howard and Mike Epstein and well, so many of the Paul Casanova and the old Senators kind of pulling for their old squad, which migrated to Texas in '72. 11 years in Washington and 25 in Texas, and now they get a shot at the postseason. They won their first game ever, but found that it takes more than 1.
Now, Juan Gonzalez has done more than his share of work. He would like 1 more kick at the can here. The Rangers can get him another at bat.
Johnny Oates has pulled as many strings as he can out of that bullpen. Mike Henneman's the only one left. He pitched to Tettleton, skies it. Boggs. Now Jeter makes the call and makes the play. There's 1 out in the Texas 8th. We want to correct something that we said before. I had a feeling this was wrong, and I was right. So we'll get NFL Countdown tomorrow. Mike Tirico and the gang, and then, well, I guess it looks like Michael. We don't even know this yet. But NFL Primetime is on at 7. It's regularly scheduled time following baseball. At 7 Eastern, 4 on the West Coast. 1 in Hawaii and 5 Mountain Time. I know it's 6 Central Time also. Mark McLemore saw it off. Fly ball to left. Range is there. There's 2 outs in the Texas 8th.
Well, Johnny Oates is going to send the pinch hitter up here in the number 9 spot in the lineup. It's Warren Newsom. Newsom's going to come on here and hit with 2 outs in the 8th inning. All Rivera has done since he came in to start the 7th. 5 up, 5 down.
That follows Weathers giving up 1 hit in 3 innings. And again, except for the 3rd inning when the Rangers got 2 runs. That's all they've gotten.
I think the pivotal point of the ball game was back in the 4th inning when the Yankees had scratched to within 4-3. And then with runners at first and second, David Weathers came in, struck out Juan Gonzalez, and got Will Clark to hit into an inning-ending double play. And from then on, the Yankees have, the Rangers have 1 hit.
Warren Newsom has come up to try to get something going against Mariano Rivera. Add it up, Buck. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6. 18 1/3 worked by the bullpen. They've given up 2 runs. 1 of them earned. It doesn't get much better than that.
That's something that Johnny Oates hasn't had the luxury of, is a deep bullpen.
Up top to Newsom, 3-0. Darrell Hamilton on deck, hoping to get a chance with a runner aboard. Newsom looks at a strike. He's built like Walt No-Neck Williams. I mean, one guy's got to get on and not get doubled up for Gonzalez to have one last shot at it. Swung on and missed, and now it's 3-2.
See, that's the luxury Rivera has. He fell behind 3-0 and didn't panic, just looked for that fastball sign and got himself right back to a 3-2 count.
Newsom gets aboard, so the Rangers have some life. Do the Orioles have some life in the 9th? Let's check in with Gary Miller.
Chris, high drama at the Jake. Former Oriole Jose Mesa, 2 outs last at bat. Robbie Alomar, who's been tentative, clearly affected by his incident with John Hirschbeck. But he comes through. Pinch runner Manny Alexander comes around. It's tie, and they're still batting. Back to you.
So a tie at the Jake. And Newsom's walked here, and Damon Buford is going to go into pinch run for him. We saw him last night as a pinch runner. Into the former Oriole, Don Buford. Remember, the home run in the World Series off Tom Seaver, among many other things. Damon Buford will like to fly around the base pass if Darrell Hamilton can get something going. Darrell is 0 for 4. And in a series that makes him a 3 for 19. Here goes Buford on a hit and run in front of Fox, the second baseman, but it did not distract the youngster. Stayed with the ball and made the play. So the Yankees are just 1 inning away from moving on. It'll be Wetland time in the 9th. Martinez here at the ballpark in Arlington, and the Yankees 3 outs away from moving on. Yeah, they see if they and what's going on out here as John Wetland gets up to throw. Buck.
Watch this. Tony Cloninger flips him a ball. He looks for an insignia, shakes hands. Cloninger says, "Go get him." This is a ritual they have done all year long, and Wetland will not take the ball from anybody else other than Cloninger. He has to set the ball in the same spot throughout the course of a ball game. And then Cloninger comes over and flips it to him, shakes hands, and says, "Go get him." Ball players aren't superstitious.
No, of course, that hasn't worked at all. He only has 43 saves. Well, if the Yankees can play 2 Riveras, the Rangers are going to play a pair of Gonzalez's. Rene Gonzalez is trying not to walk away, and he'll play shortstop for Kevin Elster, who, of course, was pinch hit for. Wade Boggs will lead it off against Mike Stanton. Mike Henneman is up and throwing in the Texas pen. Not all there is left down there. Strike to Boggs. They don't discount Boggs' sacrifice in the 7th inning, which moved Raines over. He eventually scored on Cecil Fielder's base hit. So Wade not doing it at the plate as we're accustomed to seeing. He's one of the top 20 hitters all time in baseball, but a little sacrifice played a big role in this ball game.
Well, Chris, it was Charlie Hayes' bunt in New York in the 12th inning that Dean Palmer picked up and threw away. So both third basemen have had key bunts in pivotal points of the ball game.
Here are some sobering numbers if you're a Ranger fan. The Yankees, when leading after 8 innings, 86-1. They only lost one recently to the Red Sox. The Rangers, when trailing after 8, 0-58. The only American League team to not come back and win one after 8. But boy, could they be ready here as Boggs strikes out. Let's go back to Gary.
The third game that's underway, Hideo Nomo struck out the first 2 Braves he faced. Then Fred McGriff will double over returning Raul Mondesi. Chipper Jones had reached on an error by Eric Karros. Nomo got out of the inning, but he's down a run as LA bats in the 2nd. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Gary, thank you. The Crime Dog homered in one of the games out in LA. The Braves don't need many runs with the way they can throw, that's for sure. Bernie Williams. His home run in the 5th inning tied this game. Singled and scored in the 4th. Folks, if you're tuning in late, it was Texas 4-0 after 3 innings of play. But 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th on Bernie's home run, and 1 in the 7th on Cecil's 2-out single. And the Yankees are now at the precipice, moving on to the ALCS. And I just got to think of that famous play that's still out and around, about 50 years old. Damn Yankees. It was all about Joe Hardy selling his soul to the devil to play for the Washington Senators so he could beat the damn Yankees. Those were different Senators than these Senators, but, you know, 50 years, you'd think he'd be able to cash in at this point. It's a long time waiting. You got to have heart. That's what the Rangers are saying. Lots and lots and lots of heart.
Rangers showed an awful lot of heart when they went into Seattle and lost 4 straight. Their lead was whittled down to 1 game. They bounced back. They won the division.
Yeah, Johnny could use Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Moe about at this point. What a great musical that is. Still, 50 years later, those damn Yankees. Dave, 3 strikes and you're oust. Mariners PR ace, and has been helping us during the series, suggests whatever Leyritz wants, Leyritz gets. Very good, David. Foul back by Bernie. Of course, we don't want to take any airtime away from Pepperdine Pete Pasquarelli, who has been yeoman all year long, providing beverages and other services up here in the booth. Hey, the crowd still stays with it. Every time there's 2 strikes, let's get rid of them. 3-2 to Bernie with Tino Martinez on deck. Oh, there it goes to left field. Back. Gone! Second home run of the game for Bernie Williams. 3rd in 2 days. And the Yankees have an important insurance run. They lead it 6-4.
Bernie Williams from the right side has unbelievable power. We have talked about how he is beginning to really understand his value as a RBI guy. He crushed this ball. He hit one earlier in the game off Pavlik to tie it. He knew immediately that that ball was out. all the way to the back row of the seats in left.
He's done it now from both sides of the play. Off Pavlik in the 5th to tie it. Off Stanton here in the 9th to ensure or give an insurance run. 4th time in his career he's homered from both sides of the plate in the same game. And now Tino Martinez to McLemore over to Clark, and there's 2 down. What do we say this game? He's the best player in baseball that nobody, including some in New York, really have a clue about. And I know Yankee fans know what he does, but you just overlook him on this team, and there's no overlooking what he's done in this series.
You really get a measure of a player and his abilities in how he performs in the postseason. Last year it was Ken Griffey Jr. Everybody says, yeah, we know how good he is, but what can he do with games on the line? And he came through. Juan Gonzalez and Bernie Williams have both proven that they can step up in the postseason and come up with key hits in key situations.
Johnny Oates is going to make one last trip to the mound. And if Mike Henneman comes in, expect a chorus of boos. Kind of just the way that the Ranger fans feel about the overall bullpen job. Stanton will be out. Henneman in. Bernie Williams downtown. 6-4 Yankees. Back in Texas, the 9th inning. Mike Henneman is now on to pitch to Cecil Fielder. Henneman worked at inning number 9 last night. Didn't work. And he will not face Cecil. They'll go Jimmy Leyritz. Whatever Leyritz wants, Leyritz gets. 8 pitchers now used for the Texas Rangers. Leyritz with an elbow pad that apparently Mo Vaughn sent him after he was hit with the pitch in the elbow in game number 2. Harold Reynolds coming up with that nugget. He's playing for baseball tonight and for our game. Last time 8 pitchers were used in the postseason by one team was a rather famous game. The Reds used 8 pitchers against the Red Sox in Game 6 of the 1975 World Series. The extra inning game won by Carlton Fisk. Pat Darcy was the 8th pitcher, I can tell you that much.
Bill McInerney pitched in that game.
Eastwick.
Bernie Carbo had a big home run.
Oh, boy. Leyritz is gone. The Ranger fans and the Texas squad clinging to hope. Bernie Williams has given the Yankees an insurance run. They lead at 6-4, but Juan Gonzalez is 2 up 3rd for the Rangers. Stay tuned. Wow, a convention of Alomars on that play. We have Alomars, we got Gonzalez's, we got Rivera's, and we got John Wetland. John Teenage Wetland, 43 saves during the regular season. Saved last night. Trying to do the same and save this game 4 for the Yankees and move them on to the next round.
Well, the Yankees bullpen, 18 2/3 innings of work, just 1 earned run, and obviously that has been a difference in the ball game. And to give you an idea how Joe Torre's team has fared, if the Yankees win this game, Jeff Nelson, Brian Boehringer, and David Weathers would be the winning pitchers in the series. All 3 guys out of the bullpen.
Rodriguez, Greer, and Gonzalez, the heavy metal for this Texas Ranger squad, which won its first championship in 36-year history of the squad. 25 here in Texas, and the fans on their feet in appreciation, saying just one last shot. Or as Bob Dylan would sing, one last cup of coffee for the road before we head to the valley below. Bud Rodriguez 3 for 4 with 3 singles.
That has been the best pitch for John Wetland all year long. That slider. Hitters talk about how tough it is to pick up the spin. He throws it so hard, yet it is so consistent. It's been an awesome weapon for him. He's always been a fastball, curveball pitcher. But this year, he has really mastered the slider. Every day in the outfield, he tries to find somebody to play catch with him, and nobody wants to handle that wicked slider. That made that slider a lot better. Pudge Rodriguez had that slider on his mind. He took forever to bail out of the way of that one. I don't know if he got hurt.
No, I hope.
Looked like he landed.
Stunned.
Boy, he may have hit flat on his back and knocked the wind out of himself. Hurt his rib cage or something. Watch how he bails out here. Oh, man, he
back of his head.
Hit the ground awfully hard. He was way late getting out of the way. Look at how his feet just fly off from under him. He really slammed to the dirt.
Well, I don't know if you're late in a 93-mile-an-hour fastball getting out of the way. I don't know how early you could be.
Danny Wheat, the trainer, is out trying to figure out what happened, but it looks as though they're addressing the back, lower rib cage in the back. He kicked his feet out from underneath him so much so that he really slammed to the dirt at home plate. Watch how he bails out. Ball is up and in, and just like a body slam there in the batter's box.
I'd like to think it's the wind, but I mean, it may be a lot more than that.
Yeah, it looks like it did some damage to his back rib cage. You could see how his head really jarred as he hit hard in the batter's box.
Every 50,000 folks yelling Pudge. A weird scene with him lying solitary at the plate. And 5 Yankees all gathered around the mound. It'll be a huge ovation right here.
Well, he's going to get plenty of time to see if he can limber up to the point where he can get back in and continue this at bat. He's asking for his bat. He's going to take some swings here.
Don't forget golf coming up next, Las Vegas Invitational. Rick Fear 20 under going into the day, but obviously it's way below that now. Tiger Woods in the hunt.
Johnny Oates got to make sure that Rodriguez can swing the bat. Pudge hasn't really taken a swing yet. Very gingerly trying to get loose, but he has yet to take a swing.
Yeah, the Buck, he's a catcher. He's not going anywhere, is he?
No, I tell you, you got to be able to swing the bat.
Yes, you do.
You got to count in his favor 2 and 1.
You're right. He hadn't really taken a whack yet.
No, he didn't. He never took a full swing. Even that, very tentative.
Yankees lead at 6-4 here at the bottom of the 9th inning. 3 more outs and they'll move on to the ALCS. Starting Tuesday night, either in New York, if they win it, and Baltimore wins, or in Cleveland. If Cleveland wins that series, but the Rangers just down by 2. They've not come back in the 9th inning yet this year. Now would be a good time to get rid of that goose egg. Count is 3-1 to Pudge Rodriguez. Juan Gonzalez, he had the 5 home runs in this series, is due up 3rd. Get a man on and anything is possible. They've got their man on. Their man is on, and let's go to our man, Gary Miller.
Take it to the Jake, Chris. Jesse Orozco gave up the grand slam a day ago. He's got 2 on, second and third, and he strikes out Kenny Lofton. Struck out the last 2 batters he faced. Orioles tied it in the top of the 9th. Now they're coming to bat in the 10th. Back to you.
Excitement of the Jake and excitement here as Rusty Greer is up and Gonzalez is on deck. Center field, Bernie Williams is there. Rodriguez back to first, and here it is. John Wetland against Juan Gonzalez, who represents the tying run.
When Gonzalez struck out against David Weathers back in the 4th inning with runners at first and second, they threw him sliders off the plate, and Gonzalez chased.
Kate, you weren't with us earlier. That Reggie Jackson and Ken Griffey, that's an inning series. 5 home runs now tied by Gonzalez. He's hit him in 4 consecutive games in the postseason, tying a record by the Hackman, Jeffrey Leonard. With the Giants, games 1 through 4 in the 1987 NLCS against the Cardinals, but Gonzalez has done them with both flaps down.
That's the same approach they took in the 4th. Sliders off the plate.
And here's a unique situation. I mean, Gonzalez represents the tying run. So in almost no circumstance do you want to put him on a tying run, but this is not a normal circumstance. Low and away again, 2-0.
Yeah, there are the hitters that you get behind 2-0. You say, okay, I'm going to make a good pitch with a fastball. I don't think there is a good pitch with a fastball to Gonzalez right now. Stay away from it. John Wetland has given up 9 home runs during the regular season.
In there for a strike.
Another slider. This pitch may have been a little high, but you see it catches the outside corner.
Low and away, 3-1.
Well, that's the best example of if you're going to miss away.
Will Clark, what a time for him to bust out of this slump here in this postseason week. Get the Nussler working. Ball 4. So in the person of Juan Gonzalez, you figure what the heck? You put on the potential tying run, and that brings up the potential winning run to the plate in the person of Will Clark, who is 0 for 4 today and has really scuffled thus far in the series. 0 for 4 makes it 2 for 15. He's just 2 for 15 against Wetland lifetime, but one of those 2 a home run. So pipe up the country music. The Rangers are alive here in the 9th. The Texas 2-step on base. Rodriguez at second, Gonzalez at first. Swung on and missed. Waved that, strike 1.
Fastball away. Wetland will throw the curveball more to left-handers than the slider. It's a bigger break. Totally different angle for the hitters to deal with.
High, ball 1, 1-1. Rodriguez at second and Gonzalez at first. Yeah, since putting Pudge on his back, 7 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, a lot of those balls really not intended to be strikes to Juan Gonzalez. Clark to left center field. Back it goes. But it's caught by Tim Raines, and both runners have to hustle back. Oh, that had extra bases written all over it. But Timmy Raines was there, and it just goes as a long flyout, and the Rangers are down to their last at bat.
Well, he got a fastball away, and he drives it the other way. It looked like it had enough to get up the gap, but Tim Raines, with his good wheels, makes the catch just short of the warning track, and Will Clark just missed one.
Well, Timmy says his hammies are bothering him still a little bit, but apparently not on that ball. Dean Palmer has just faced Wetland twice. He's 1 for 2 with a home run. Oh, this play sounds like if he goes deep. Strike one.
John Wetland does a real good job of studying the scouting reports down in the bullpen. So you can see he went away with a fastball and actually had a little movement back on the plate to catch the outside corner.
Fastball up top. You don't think Will Clark was upset that that ball didn't drop in? A 3-shot. And a stinger, obviously. 1-1 pitch to Palmer. Foul back. So the Rangers down to their last strike. Rodriguez at second, Gonzalez at first. As Russ Hodges said in 1951, they'll be running like the wind if Palmer hits one.
He's probably going to have to hit a slider right here. 1 ball, 2-strike count on Dean Palmer. Wetland has thrown him all fastballs to this point. He threw Gonzalez all sliders in his at-bat and eventually walked him.
There it is. John Wetland has put down Dean Palmer, and the Yankees are moving on to the ALCS. The Yankees celebrate at the mound, and listen to the celebration here in the stands for the Texas Rangers, who made it to the postseason for the first time. But they ran into a gritty bunch of New York Yankees to whom no deficit was too large. And they showed it today, looking at a 4-0 Texas lead, staring it in the face, and pulling out some 6-shooters of their own.
Well, the big difference in this series was the Yankees' ability to come back late in the ball game. The Rangers showed a lot of character when they came out in this game and scored 2 in the second, 2 in the third, took a 4-0 lead, but the Yankees just kept coming back and coming back. The Rangers used 8 pitchers here today, but the Yankees were able to total 12 hits and 6 runs, and then they turned it over to Revere and Wetland like they've done all year long to close it out.
That's the formula. They're automatic in the late innings, and John Wetland nailed it down. Bernie Williams, a pair of home runs, and the Yankees, without going with David Cone today, have their pitching all set for Tuesday night. Wow. Congratulations to both teams. It's been a pleasure working it for Buck Martinez and all of us here in Texas. I'm Chris Berman. The Yankees are moving on. They beat the Rangers 6-4. Now let's go to John Miller in Cleveland.
Back to our place and we'll try to the next game.
In the ninth, the Rangers still hanging on by 1 run. Oates would go to the bullpen once again for Jeff Russell to start the inning. Cecil Fielder has been criticized in the New York press as not performing well as a Yankee. Comes through in the clutch as he drives a single to right, scoring Williams to tie the game at 4. The game would remain tied until the 12th as the Rangers would see chance after chance, including their top of the 12th, as they would load the bases only to see Dean Palmer to fly out to right fielder Paul O'Neill to end the inning.
Yeah, it's a tough loss. I mean, whenever a game ends like that, it's going to be tough, you know. You know, we're going back home.
In the Yankee 12th, Mike Stanton would start his second inning of pitching. Derek Jeter would start the inning off with a single to center, followed by a Tim Raines walk. And Mike Henneman would be called upon to get the Rangers out of the jam with Charlie Hayes at the plate.
Hayes squares, and the pitch is bunted down the third base line. A good one. Palmer will go to first. Low throw, throws it past McLemore. Jeter will score, and the Yankees win 5-4.
I don't think anyone in the Texas Rangers organization came here looking for a split. I think if anyone thought that, they're barking up the wrong tree. We came here to win, too. Winning last night, we came here to win tonight, not to lose tonight.
A disappointing loss for the Rangers, but nonetheless a split in New York. So some might say the Rangers gave one away, but a split on the road puts the Rangers in pretty good position. Stay with us. We're going to bring you back to the ballpark in Arlington and Game 3, the first ever playoff game at the ballpark. Stay with us right here on the Budweiser Rangers Report. Friday, it's time for the first playoff game in Texas Rangers history at the ballpark in Arlington. And the Yankees get a chance to see a whole lot of red. A lot of fans wore red this weekend at the ballpark. And they get to see how loud Texans can be. I always knew that Texans were louder than New Yorkers. A lot of buzz, 50,000 fans at the ballpark in Arlington for the first ever playoff game in Rangers history. The Yankees would be the first to show their pop in the first inning. It would be Bernie Williams using the ballpark's short corners, somewhat like Gonzalez did in New York, as he goes deep 329 feet to give the Bronx Bombers a 1-0 lead. In the Ranger first, Rusty Greer would try and answer the home run by Williams as he goes to deep center. But watch as Williams goes up and over the fence to steal the home run from Greer. In the Ranger fourth, again, Gonzalez would bring the crowd to their feet as on a 3-1 count, he would go to the coffin corner and left. But this one goes foul. But only 2 pitches later, Gonzalez shows his strength as he takes the outside pitch to deep right field, hands high in the air. It's gone. Gonzalez, 4th homer in 3 games. This one, 396 feet. The Yankee ninth, the Rangers still grasping to their 1-run lead. Oliver approaching the 100 pitch count, and potential Rookie of the Year at the plate, Derek Jeter. He starts the inning with a single to left. This is immediately followed by one of the veterans of the Yankee club as Tim Raines singles to center, moving Jeter to third. Again, Bernie Williams at the plate. He sac flies to Gonzalez in right. Jeter scores from third. Yankees overcome the deficit to take a 3-2 lead. The Rangers ninth was greeted by the Yankee closer and Rangers killer John Wetland. Mickey Tettleton would draw a walk to lead off the inning as he would be pitch ran for by Damon Buford. Mark McLemore would push Buford to second base with the ground out to third baseman Charlie Hayes. And with the tying run at third base, Darrell Hamilton at the plate.
Yeah, struck him out.
After that tough loss on Friday night, the pressure and excitement around the ballpark could not be described. 50,000 fans again at the ballpark in Arlington on Saturday. This is what Ranger fans have been waiting for 25 years. Playoff baseball in October. In the Rangers' third inning, Juan Gonzalez looked to tie the AL playoff record of 5 home runs in the division series.
Gonzalez to lead it off. Boehringer swings, and Gonzalez rips one. Kiss it goodbye. This one is gone to deep left field. It's 0-0 Texas, and Gonzalez has tied the record for most home runs in a division series.
With that home run, Juan Gonzalez owns October for the Rangers. In the fourth, it all came tumbling down on Bobby Witt. A leadoff single by Bernie Williams and then a stolen base to land him on second proved to rattle Witt as he lost his control. Martinez walks, and with 2 men on, big Cecil Fielder to the plate.
Witt comes set, and the pitch to Fielder. Swung on and hammered through the middle, a base hit. That's going to score Williams. It's 4-1.
All-star pitcher Roger Pavlik called into bullpen action in the top of the 5th. Pavlik struggling as of late, but Oates desperate for a stopper in the mid-innings. Bernie Williams, heard that name before, steps to the plate to greet Roger.
3-2 pitch. Swung on, high drive, well hit to right center field. This is way back. It is gone, and the game is tied.
Top of the 7th, the Yankees get a leadoff single by Tim Raines. Wade Boggs batting second in the lineup, then sacrifice bunts Raines to second. Again, Cecil Fielder for the second time today at the plate with a potential clutch hit in order.
Pitch. Swung on, grounded, past a diving Palmer into left field, a base hit.
And the Yankees' new Mr. October, Bernie Williams, hits another homer to give the Yankees a 6-4 win over the Rangers in Game 4 of the American League Division Series. 1996 will be a season that Texas Rangers fans and players will remember for a long time. We've covered the Rangers from spring training until the last out on October 5th. We finally got a chance to enjoy the excitement of playoff baseball at the ballpark in Arlington. So stay with us right here on the Budweiser Rangers Report. Welcome back to the Budweiser Rangers Report from the ballpark in Arlington. I personally want to thank Rangers manager Johnny Oates for joining us each and every week here on the Budweiser Rangers Report. We've seen some great plays, some great hitting, and some great execution. Man, it's been a great Red October. We'll see you next year on the Budweiser Rangers Report.
Budweiser Rangers Report is brought to you by Budweiser, by Blockbuster Video, by Dr. Pepper.
Postseason play for the Rangers, but 3 members of the team, as you mentioned, still honored today for their outstanding seasons by the Sporting News. Shortstop Kevin Elster named Comeback Player of the Year. He performed like a champ this season, accounting for 24 homers and 99 RBIs. Johnny Oates, who led the team to its first ever playoff appearance, named American League Manager of the Year. And General Manager Doug Melvin, who pulled the trigger on a number of deals that really paid off, named Executive of the Year.
We would like to have taken it farther. I still believe, and no one will change my mind, that we didn't have the best team. I think that a few breaks here and there, that we would have won the championship, gone on to the World Series. But this is a nice step for the Rangers to take, and a giant step for us to take as an organization. And
of course, I didn't dream of any postseason awards, and I'm very honored this one, but I'm more proud of the way the club played, and I was kind of proud of the way it ended. The other day, after the game was over, we all sat and really kind of made another pact to, go a little bit further next year.
30 years of professional baseball, this is my most special year. For so many reasons, too many to enumerate here. But just the way I've been treated in this community, the way my family's been treated, I think I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the point, the way our fans rallied around us near the end of the season.
Now, the team that eliminated the
Rangers... Sporting News at home still have them from back in the early 60s. And my wife, Ellen, keeps wanting me to throw them out all the time, but this will be one I'll have to keep for sure because, it's being named by your other peers, other general managers means a lot also, because I know there's a lot of other quality general managers out there. But this award is not even come close to winning on my behalf if it wasn't for people like Johnny and the coaching staff and the players involved.
Meanwhile, Johnny Oates is the man once again. He was named Manager of the Year today by the Sporting News. Oates was Manager of the Year in '93 when he was with the Orioles. Again today he gets the award, but he says he'd give it up if his team was still playing.
I don't think I'm unique in the fact that I would be willing to believe that any Major League manager would trade any individual award for a world championship. And that's our goal. While I am honored to receive this award, much rather be maybe in New York or Baltimore coming in here ready to play in the American League Championship.
Is seen on KXTX 39, so that we may bring you the following special program on Channel 5, the Texas News Channel. Channels 5 and 39 present Rangers 97, going for the world.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Scott Murray. Welcome to the ballpark in Arlington, the home of the American League West champion Texas Rangers. Let me show you where some of the fellas were earlier today, just down the street from the ballpark at the Arlington Convention Center, players and coaches alike, taking part in the club's annual Welcome Home Luncheon. As expected, it was the largest crowd in franchise history for this particular event. As the players sat at the tables with Ranger fans, then it was off to the ballpark for the final workout before tomorrow's season opener against the Milwaukee Brewers. John Radigan has our story this evening.
The good news from the final workout of the spring is that no one got hurt, but no one got better either. Will Clark, who fractured his finger and sprained his wrist on Friday, was out there feeling as optimistic as he did after yesterday's game.
Yeah, we had a few little nagging injuries there at the end of spring, but both Rusty and myself will be ready by Tuesday, and we'll be ready to run out there.
Will was running out there today, but when he took his turn in the batting cage, his wrist wasn't right, so he ran back to the doctor.
As a matter of fact, I walked off the field and we went straight back to the hospital and re-x-rayed the wrist, and nothing's broke, so you know, that's a good sign, but still it's hampering my swing quite a bit.
I don't think it's going to be lingering 1 day, 2 days. I'm sure they're not going to be 100% for a few days, but I don't think it's going to be something that's going to bother them all summer.
Even the enthusiasm of the optimistic Oates might be dampened by the late afternoon news on Will Clark. He says that if his wrist feels tomorrow like it did today, he'll spend opening day sitting on the bench, not out there at first base.
You know, I was experiencing a lot of pain in the cage today, and figured best thing to do is just get out and let it settle back down, and we'll see about tomorrow.
Rusty Greer will take no such wait-and-see approach. He'll be in the lineup, sore shoulder and all.
When it begins, I'll be in there with 100% effort.
The ballpark is ready. The fans are too. The players need only stay healthy for about 18 and a half more hours, during many of which they'll be sleeping.
I probably won't be able to sleep tonight, but I'll go out there and play tired tomorrow, hopefully perform.
Tired is okay, as long as no one else gets hurt. John Radigan, Texas News 5.
Now, as the Rangers here in 1997 get ready to defend their American League West title, they're not getting the respect that you might expect. Bill Jones with that story tonight.
They finally win their first ever division championship last year, but the Rangers continue to play that Rodney Dangerfield role. They're learning that respect is a hard thing to come by.
I know they all don't get no respect. I know that. They all feel they don't.
Pretty much everybody has the same attitude. You know, if they don't want to, you know, respect us, we'll just go out there on the field and prove it to them.
Maybe over the course of a few years, maybe you start getting more respect, but it's just, I don't see it, and it really doesn't bother me.
The Rangers say it doesn't bother them, but they have noticed the fact that on the cover of Sports Illustrated's baseball preview issue this year happens to be their chief rival in the American League West. What's this? Randy Johnson and the Mariners, the most feared team in '97?
Hey, the press is everybody else. I mean, is saying that Seattle is the team to beat in the West, and that's fine. I mean, I don't think anybody in this locker room has a problem with that. We just, you know, more people to prove wrong, that's all.
Seems like that happens every year, though. You know, and they never want to give us any respect, but we just go out there, you know, win it again, and then, you know, see what happens.
Granted, it does figure to be a two-team race in the West between the Rangers and Mariners. And granted, Seattle did win the season series from the Rangers by a lopsided 10-3 last year. But having done it once, respect or not, the Rangers expect to do it again this year.
I would think that certainly we have great expectations. Sounds like a book. Somebody should write a book or something named Great Expectations. You know, Charles Dickens maybe? How about that?
It has been, you know, however long, 100 years since the team from Dallas got to the playoffs. So, I mean, anytime you do something for the first time, you're going to get more exposure. And just like last year with Seattle having refused to lose too, and now, you know, maybe we'll have something like that this year.
However, the Rangers expect a different finish than that refuse-to-lose sequel in Seattle last year. Bill Jones, Texas News 5.
When we come back tonight live from the ballpark, we'll be joined by the reigning American League Most Valuable Player. That's right, the Rangers' Juan Gonzalez. His countdown to tomorrow's regular season opener continues live from the ballpark in Arlington.
World Series MVP closer John Wetland.
Your impressions of the bullpen?
Well, you know, I never sit here and give impressions of I don't do impressions.
The Rangers arrive in Arlington after a very uneventful spring training in Florida. And perhaps that is a good sign for a change, for a team that is trying to go one step beyond a division title. George Reba, Channel 8 Sports at the ballpark in Arlington.
Well, it always does come down to pitching, and Rangers pitching coach Dick Bosman joins me here now. Dick, after, what, about 6 weeks, I guess, in Florida, how do you feel about this staff you have?
I feel as prepared as we can be at this point. I really feel that the guys came in very well prepared from a winter of conditioning, and they were ready to do the work. We got the work in. We pitched the innings that we needed to pitch down there, and You know, I really feel like every one of the starters got the innings in that Johnny and I sat down in the spring and plotted out for them to do.
Does it concern you at all the way the spring schedule ended up?
Not at all, really. I mean, I actually sensed a feeling of staleness maybe with a week to go, and you know, when you run basically a double-A club out against you to play on one of the games, I don't think the incentive is really, hopefully is again. And if you look at our starters, it's something that they're certainly capable of, looking at what they've done in the past. You know, with Ollie being healthy all year and being really excited about being healthy, and now he's going into another season where he knows what he can.
This season and the season opener at the ballpark here in Arlington, and for the first time in franchise history, home base for the defending American League champions, and you know who that is, the Texas Rangers. Welcome back as we come to you live between now and about 7:30 tonight, and we welcome the American League MVP, Juan Gonzalez.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? You're styling tonight. I like the sweater, huh?
Thank you.
Well, first and foremost, how's the thumb?
My thumbs I feel much better. You know, I continue working every day, my therapy, a couple of exercises. You know, I feel a little bit back because I'm starting line up tomorrow afternoon, but the big thing is when I come back to play again, stay healthy and play the rest of the season.
I see you down in spring training, sitting over there doing all these thumb exercises. I thought maybe that was something new in vogue or something. Look at this. Look at Juan over there. Eh? And but I know you got to be disappointed that you're not going to be here tomorrow. Is May 1st still the target date when you come back?
The doctors say starting May 1st. You know, I'm trying for starting before, but the doctors say relax, take your time, and keep working your thumb. You come back. When you come back, you starting to play, continue to play hard, you know. The thumb is injury in my thumb is no easy, because he say, when you sure, it's no hurt, no pain, easy, 3 months, you know. You're starting in 4 weeks. You need a protector, thumb, you know, because when you're starting to hit again, especially in cold weathers,
right?
You know. But I'm positive. My mind's ready.
Okay.
When I come back to play again.
Well, let's talk about when you win the American League Most Valuable Player, 144 RBIs, 47 home runs. You missed 28 games and you still win the award. What was it like going back to Puerto Rico? I mean, Roberto Clemente is a downright legend in Puerto Rico. I know he was your hero as a youngster. Now you go back there with the MVP. What was it like in the offseason?
When I come back home, my hometown there in Puerto Rico, you know, everybody's exciting, or you're happy, because in the last 13 or 14 years, nobody wins the MVP awards. You know, the big hero there is Roberto Clemente, because you know, one of the best famous player, one of the best player in baseball. Everybody remember him, one of the best. You know, right now, probably 52 players from Puerto Rico playing in Major League Baseball. You know, a lot of more players before 2 or 3. You know, the Puerto Rican people never forget him. You know, the big hero there.
Yeah, they'll probably never forget you after what you did last season, right? Now, let me ask you something. A lot of people have been critical, and they said, you know, Juan's got all that potential, but a lot of people say last year he really matured. He became a complete ball player and suddenly was a real team player. Would you agree? Do you feel that you're a real team player now?
Probably when you continue to play this game today, like regular players, you know, you accrue more experience and mature more in this game. You know, right now I have more patience, peace of mind. I'm playing like a family. You know, this game everybody playing together. Feel more comfortable. Sometimes, you know, when you're young players, you know, everything is different. When you mature more, the things are more easier for every players.
Are we going to get a chance to see you play senior in October again this year?
I'm trying to come back to play in October again.
Okay.
You know, like grade 14, you know, better pitching staff this year. same team. Their offense, one of the best offensive teams in baseball.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Juan, I can't thank you enough for stopping by. I know you'd like to be in the lineup come tomorrow night, but we're looking forward to having you back there at least by May 1st.
All right.
All right. American League MVP Juan Gonzalez, our guest tonight. Still to come as we continue live from the ballpark here in Arlington on this Monday night, the eve of the regular season opener for the Texas Rangers. We'll have a story about the man who will toss out the ceremonial first pitch in tomorrow's opener. He's a true hero, like Mr. Clemente. You'll get to meet him when we come back.
And joins us now with more on the selling of the Rangers. Brian?
Dale, I'm at Friday's Front Row Grill here at the ballpark in Arlington. It's one of the great success stories in marketing over the last couple of years, but nothing like what the Rangers have experienced since winning the West. You know, from the movie Field of Dreams comes the phrase, "If you build it, he will come." From the Rangers division title season comes the phrase, "If you win it, they will spend."
Last year was awesome. People are really excited. Our sales are 400,000 ahead of last year at this time.
It's just because they're a winning team. We had our best year of retail sales ever last season, and we expect it to continue this season.
Anytime you get a championship or get a division title, it's gonna help anything you're doing.
They're reaping the rewards of reaching the playoffs for the first time in franchise history, and in the process setting new standards in sales of every kind.
We've had a significant improvement in our corporate advertising revenue picture, and we think that that is due in part to the success of the team on the field. That, again, people like to associate with a winning franchise.
For example, during the off-season, the holidays, and even January and February, we had 174% increases in the gift shops that are open during the off-season.
Sure. People are interested more in coming out in just one game. They want to come out and see, you know, a half dozen games, and that's the kind of buyer we want.
But the sudden success on the field has only propelled a plan the Rangers already had in place to market in a market that has always been known to support only a winner.
The team on the field generates the revenue. The type of team that you have on the field generates more revenue if it is marketable.
Still one of the premier parks in all of Major League Baseball. Tomorrow's opener will also be special for a number of people. For the players, for the fans, and for the gentleman who gets to toss out the ceremonial first pitch come tomorrow.
What we're trying to do is ride the crest of the combination of two. A championship team and a first-class morals and values and character.
It's a strategy that starts in the front office, finding its way through the clubhouse to the field, with subtle reminders along the way.
Molly, what about throw like Bobby Witt?
Oh yeah, I'd like to throw like Bobby Witt too.
What about Mark McLemore?
Oh yeah.
Our spokesperson is Molly.
This is Molly Thompson with the Texas Rangers.
She's a little girl.
Back to back, guys.
She is the conduit to the Texas Rangers for our fan base, and I think that's representative of what it is that we're trying to accomplish, to say that the players that we put on the field, the executives that work for the organization, the environment that you're going to see when you come out here, they're all things that you could take home into your own home.
When they come back next time, they want to buy.
And the proof that it's working is measured in merchandising, where Ranger fans made a run on leather jackets priced at $400 each after the Rangers run through the playoffs.
I've never experienced it in my retail career before, so it's really a nice change.
You have session 327.
At the ticket window, where a restructuring of prices, including some seats for less, and inventive packaging has the once unthinkable 3 million attendance mark, a very realistic possibility.
We really kind of looked at it from the fan perspective of what, you know, what we thought was a fair price for every seat in the building.
And most importantly, in those seats and in those shops, fans are finding what they're looking for.
I got real disenfranchised with the Cowboys several years ago,
and was really searching for another sports team and really caught on to the Rangers a year or two ago. And last year really caught on, and I don't think it was so much because they were winning. It's just it was fun to come out here, and you know, they've got a good reputation. They're a clean team. There's not scandal involved.
You can stand for something, and that is a goal of the Texas Rangers, is to stand for something.
And obviously what the Rangers stand for right now is something the fans approve of. The Rangers trying to build a groundwork that if the winning doesn't continue, the support in this market will. Dale?
All right, Brian, outstanding report. Rangers President Tom Schieffer joins me here now to talk about this just a little bit more. You know, winning, as Brian